move follows a presidency briefing to Parliament. The party says of the 467 individuals and companies recommended by the Special Investigating Unit to be added to National Treasury's Restricted Suppliers Register, only one has been listed. Nokukanya Mtambo has the details.
Under the current legislative framework for the blacklisting process, the accounting officer at the purchasing entity is responsible for requesting any restriction on a supplier or an associated individual. Treasury then records the restriction in its central database. In a parliamentary briefing 3 years ago before the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Treasury, the SIU and MPs agreed there were loopholes in the current system. Action SA spokesperson Matthew George.
That means the system routinely allows implicated suppliers and officials to escape accountability and continue doing business with the state.
The party says it will continue to pursue parliamentary remedies to compel ministers, accounting officers and the presidency to account publicly and to take immediate corrective action. Nokukanya Mtambo, Eyewitness News.
And United Nations investigators have accused South Sudanese authorities of plundering the country's wealth. According to the UN, government officials have stolen billions of dollars in oil money since the country gained independence in 2011. The report cites an annual budget allocation to the president's medical unit that exceeded health spending across the entire country. The UN report was released a day after Bolmel, a South Sudanese politician, announced on X that he had been promoted to the rank of general in the National Security Service. Gold's trading at $3,686.74 an ounce. The rand's at 17.37 to the dollar, at 23.70 to the pound, at 20.52 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $67.83 a barrel.
Heading towards Bedford View, we still have bumper traffic. That's on the N3 southbound between Linksfield Road and Van Buren. Also traveling towards Germiston. That's leaving the Boksburg Edenvale area. R24 westbound traffic heavily backed up. This is between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis interchange.
In your sport, an update from the first ODI between Pakistan and South Africa women. Kaizer Chiefs and Nkukune United face off in the Bidway Premiership, and Jacques Nienaber commits to Leinster.
A look at your weather. It's clear skies in Gauteng this afternoon. Temperatures are peaking at highs between 28 and 33 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. A 61-year-old man believed to be a taxi boss has been shot and killed by unknown gunmen at Brown's Farm in Cape Town today.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
A very good afternoon, everyone. It's 8 minutes past 3 on Tuesday, September the 16th. This is 702 Drive with me, John Perlman. Wherever you're listening to us in 702 land, welcome to the show. Should private schools pay more tax? That seems to be the view of Treasury, which is planning to limit some of the exemptions that private schools currently enjoy. We'll talk to Tsepo Motsepe from the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa shortly, but what are your views? Give us a call on that. 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702. Some other stories we're covering. Who can we sell our wine to if the US government and its tariffs make the Cape's best unaffordable for Americans? The Western Cape government is planning a trip to Canada to see if their northern neighbors are interested in some pinotage and perhaps some other fine wine out of South Africa. Agriculture MEC Ivan Meyer joins us at 10 to 4 to talk about his plans and his sales pitch. I assume he's taking a corkscrew. President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday told ANC councillors that they ought to learn from the success of DA-run metros and municipalities. How did the challenge come across? Like a shot in the arm? Like a lead balloon? We'll get the thoughts of Soweto councillor Pelelani Sindani after 4, but if you're an ANC councillor or involved in an ANC branch, how did you take it? And do you know which plastic is worth recycling and what has no value at all? We'll get some answers at 10 to 5 in our weekly Green Tip of the Week. We've got all that and a whole lot more on 702 Drive, including breaking news from the roads in our regular traffic updates and the latest from the markets. On the JSE, 105,000 was once a target, not anymore, because the JSE has now raced past that mark as well, currently sitting at 105,322 points. Driving the gains, as so often been the case in the last few months, the Resources Index up by 1.9%. Pan-African Resources, the gold miner, up by 5.3%, Premier by 4.85%, MTN by 3.5%. The rand is currently trading at 17 rand 36 against the dollar. 20 rand 48 will get you a euro, and a pound will cost 23 rand 67. The oil price is up by 60 cents today and currently trading at $67.93 a barrel. Muteo Khwaripe joins us with all the details at 4:25. We'll have sport with Tolakele Mganga. Maki Mulapo has the latest news headlines. You heard her a moment ago. That'll be at 3:30. Karabo Chale keeping an eye on the roads, and update for you from the traffic in a moment. This is 702 Drive. We're live in the place where you live, and if it's happening in 702 land, you will hear about it here first. But if you hear about it before we hear about it, i.e. you're first, well, please get in touch. We are shameless. We have no pride. We are delighted if you can be part of our news gathering team. Call us on 072 702 1702 or a phone call if you like on 011 883 0702. This is 702 Drive. It's 12 minutes past 3.
702.
Let's walk the talk.
So lots to talk about, lots to inquire about, and lots to think about. And when it comes to thoughts, often the most interesting thoughts are the most random. Of course, some of those random thoughts come out of surveys. And the survey in question, Jonathan Fairburn, is to do with accents and which accents in the world are considered the most sexy. I don't know by who, but anyway, you've got all the details. Share, please.
Afternoon, John, and afternoon to our 702 family. So I came across a post on LinkedIn by Bob Skinstad. Remember him?
Of course, yeah.
Springbok rugby player. And he posted a graphic here, which the source is travel.com, and it said 50 sexiest accents in the world. And I'll give you the top 5. So the first one is the Kiwi. So people love the Kiwi accent. The South African accent, which I found quite interesting. Because, I mean, we have so many accents.
I was going to say, which South
Africa.
African accent,
So,
yes.
You know, you take your pick of which one is sexy. Then it's the Irish, the Italian, and then Australians. Those are the top 5 sexiest accents, according to travel.com.
Give us the next 5 if you have them.
You want the next 5? Okay.
Yes, please.
6 will be the Scottish accent. 7 will be French. Number 8 will be the Spanish. 9 is the South USA, so the people from the South.
Okay.
And then the last one, the top 10, will be the Brazilian Portuguese accent.
Okay. So let's just give you the bottom 5 out of 50, because there are others who didn't even make it. Croatia, 50.
Yeah.
Romania, 49. The Thai accent, which I wouldn't know if I had to pick it out in a lineup, 48. Pakistani accent, again, I mean, there's so many languages in Pakistan. And the German accent is described as harsh at times and not particularly sexy to the average ear, yet super clear. So, congratulations to both of you. You have the second sexiest accent in the world. I no disrespect, but how does New Zealand get up to number 1?
I actually like the Kiwi accent. I must say, Australian accent I do not like.
Yes.
But the New Zealand accent, I think it's quite a nice accent. I mean, if I got a call late at night from somebody
Asking you
down in New Zealand, I would be like, yeah, okay, you can keep me on the phone.
So it would be a case of, oh, you want my PIN number? Yeah, why not? It's 774 7.
Oh.
There's your cash.
Keep talking to me, John. I love it when you talk foreign.
Absolutely. Tell me, do accents make any difference?
Yes.
Do they move you? Are you
The Sotho accent, eh?
Sotho accent?
Yes.
Okay, do it for us.
Oh, ish.
Pin number.
No, just,
Okay.
like when I just hear Sotho ladies speak, it's just beautiful. Sotho and my home language, Sepedi.
Okay.
So I just find it very attractive.
You go
Okay.
weak at the knees.
So, but this is good now because we're breaking down. We ranked number 2 in the world, which is great. We're number 1 at rugby, number 2 at accents. New Zealand, number 1 at accents, number 2 at rugby. I know which I'm more excited about, but there we go. Give us a call on accents. Maybe you've got an interesting one and it has got you some advantages. Let's just put it in broad terms in your life. Give us a call. The Welsh, by the way, is 45th. I think that is a massive underrating of a really quite lovely way of speaking. Anyway, there we go. We'll give you some more of those. If you want to know, by the way, where a favorite accent of yours ranks and you're not online, well, you just get in touch with me. I have the list here, and I'm happy to share the findings of this important study. 0727021702. It's 16 minutes past 3. I don't know what accent you're going to use for the traffic. Karabo Chale, but if the traffic is bad, just do your best South Sotho, please. Because people are suffering.
Hello, Maui.
There we go.
Not looking too bad, at least on the roads, I must say. The rest of Gauteng, no accidents have been reported. Just look out for delays, though. Expect about a 20-minute delay if you're heading into the Bedfordview area. This is on the R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gililis interchange. Also in heading towards Germiston, N3 South, expect some delays. This is between Linksfield Road and Van Buren. Leaving the Sandton area, I see traffic is a bit sluggish. This is on a Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and the M1. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in the Edenvale area, Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeck. Traffic lights also still not working in Rand Park Ridge at Beyers Noidea and the N1. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Clement Maniatella,
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I'm asking about what's been stolen. Have we not seen corruption under your party, the ANC, over the last 30 years?
I will not stand here in the name of the ANC and defend wrongdoings. Just yesterday, I'm sure me and you read the story of a chap who looted the hospital there. SIU has taken almost assets worth about 3.7 billion. It was on the news yesterday.
Zandile.
No, don't laugh.
No, man, come on. This is ridiculous. Have you read stories about Beki Kele and Ket Matlala? Have you read that? Have you read stories about the very same man you're talking about in Tembisa and which politician was in his house meeting Ket Matlala?
Are they members of the ANC?
No, you said these people are normal people in society, and I'm saying politicians, when they loot money, they're going to use their families and normal business people in society.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Mzansi, 133 million rand in total guaranteed Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots could change your life. That's right. Play Powerball for a guaranteed 70 million rand and Powerball Plus for a guaranteed 63 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in-store, online at nationallottery.co.za, on the mobile app via cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Pusher Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
In a world where traffic is the enemy of progress, one man is in a race against time. Through the noise,
through the chaos, chasing something no GPS could find.
Accident detected ahead. Expect a 30-minute delay.
Not today, sweetheart. Not today. Write your own story with the Haval H7 from only $6,799 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
From the bottles on your table to the glass that's recycled and reborn, Isanti Glass is proving that sustainability can shine. Tomorrow on 702 Drive with me, John Perlman, I'll be in conversation with Isanti Glass as we unpack how they're redefining glass manufacturing and making a real impact in communities. We'll also explore how Isanti Glass champions innovation, empowers local industry, and supports a circular economy through recycling and sustainable practices. Don't miss 702 Drive with me, John Perlman, tomorrow in conversation with Isanti Glass from 3 to 6 p.m. on 702.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, a court case now in the Constitutional Court that really does bring up all sorts of really quite important and intriguing debates around our economy and our environment and the clash that often ensues between the two. South Africa's top court has been hearing arguments today in a legal battle that has put environmental activists against one of the world's biggest energy companies, Shell. And all of this relates to the possibility of South Africa having or not a substantial offshore oil industry. My EWN colleague, Khomotso Modise, has been at the court and crucially outside the court as well, talking to people involved in this matter, even if they're not on the floor of the court making the arguments. Khomotso, very good afternoon to you. The matter before the court, what's at issue? Clearly, if it's at the Con Court, it's been through some other courts before.
Absolutely, John. So this is about exploration rights, seismic exploration rights by Shell. The last time that Shell was awarded rights was in 2014, and they've renewed them over the years. Now, they went back, or they had been granted permission to apply for rights once more, but the community in the Wild Coast has a problem with that. They have flagged the fact that these seismic explorations, which include blasting, affect their environment and they affect the sea and the seabed. And so they challenged this in the High Court, which ruled in their favor. Shell escalated the matter to the Supreme Court, which ruled that while some of the concerns that the communities had raised, such as consultation, were valid, they did give Shell permission or the right to apply once more for these exploration rights. Now, the communities do not want Shell to continue exploring that area around the Wild Coast for a number of reasons. But today in court, and for the next 2 days, in fact, is the application for leave to appeal. So we have the communities approaching the Constitutional Court for leave to appeal their judgment by the Supreme Court. They say the Supreme Court has failed to consider all the facts before it, and they insist the High Court did a good job in considering all the factors here, including environmental issues as well as issues around their livelihoods.
So the matter heard at length today. They'll be going through issues again tomorrow. But in the meanwhile, you also spend some time outside the court chatting to groups like Greenpeace and others, as well as community activists. Well, what is their central point? Are they objecting to any kind of oil exploration whatsoever? Or is their main objection to the methods and technology Shell proposes to use?
Well, it's both. When you speak to Greenpeace, they have an issue with the methods and the technology. They're saying that we should move towards a more environmentally friendly way of exploration. If there is going to be exploration, they're saying that they have issues with oil and gas. And so they are, flagging the how. But you speak to another organization called Natural Justice. And for them, it's really more about the consultation. They're saying that they want to be consulted consulted so that the community can raise their concerns. And their biggest problem is that there seemed to have been a top-down approach where Shell had agreed and knew what they were going to do and brought a finished product down, not even to the community members, but just to the chiefs in the area and traditional leaders. So it really is both. Some groups feel it's the how in the technology, and others feel that it's speak to us, consult with us so we can tell you how we feel. This is our home. This is where we make our livelihoods, and it's important that you actually consult with us.
Thank you very much, Khomotso Modise. A really important court case, and maybe you've got some views. I mean, without knowing the intricacies of the arguments being put by both sides, maybe just a gut feel on whether we should be more accommodating of companies like Shell. After all, an oil industry offshore would be a massive economic boost, or is that, in your view, creating an illusion of prosperity, whereas the threat to perhaps other more sustainable industries like tourism and fishing are not being taken sufficiently into account? It's a good debate, and I'd love to get your view. Give us a call on 011 883 0702. It's 26 minutes past 3.
Drive home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Now, there's a substantial dispute and, of course, with it, a debate looming as Treasury moves to make certain changes in regard to the way in which educational institutions, private schools, are able to benefit from the way the law around VAT is currently framed. So, what are the changes that are being proposed, and why are organizations like the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa so concerned about what Treasury is putting forward? Tsepo Motsepe is Director of Legal Policy and Government Relations at the ISASA and joins us now. Very good afternoon to you, and thanks very much for giving us your time. What is Treasury looking to change, and why are you against those changes? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Good afternoon to the listeners as well. So, John, you know, it's quite an interesting move by Treasury, and obviously mandating SARS to effect these changes. But in essence, this is what we described as a forced deregistration from the VAT regime. And what it means is that schools that are currently on the VAT system, who can reclaim VAT for all their commercial activities that they engage in, will now be required not to exit the VAT system, and this will create quite an unfortunate situation where schools will have to bear the brunt of a VAT liability. But also, what it means is that schools will now find themselves, independent schools in particular, will now find themselves having a VAT liability they will have to pay within 12 months. And this could range from a few millions to a number of million rands. And as such, for that VAT liability to be paid back, unfortunately, that will have to come from fees. And this will have also a negative impact on independent schools' ability to maintain and build infrastructure or engage in infrastructure projects in the long term.
So, Mr. Motsepe, how far back would this liability go?
So it seems, you know, they've not in the draft legislative piece, they've not given a date. So we could be talking as far back as 2011, which will create a VAT liability. So until such a time we know, we're currently grasping at straws as to how much. But what we've seen from some of our member schools, we're talking about one school was talking around 400 million rand, based on the infrastructure development and activities that they've engaged in over the past 20 odd years.
I want to get a perspective on this in terms of who's affected, because as I understand it, from a piece written on Moneyweb by Amanda Visser, that you guys represent 900 schools. Many people's listeners' minds, I would think, go to elite and expensive private schools, whereas in a number of 900, I would think there's quite a wide range. But would you accept any kind of law that actually differentiates and disaggregates that number of 900? Because there are some schools, private schools and private school groupings that are highly profitable, and maybe they should be treated differently to a small operation in, for example, downtown Joburg.
Yeah. Well, John, we need to, the independent schooling sector, at least from our members' perspective, is quite a diverse grouping.
Yes.
So when you speak of profitability, you're talking about, I would assume you're talking about listed entities. In our case, even the elite schools would be registered as PBOs. But even in that situation, what you do find, they are registered PBOs engaged in a number of activities, one being teacher internship. So they've got a range of services that they offer outside of the children that go to those schools. But the independent schooling sector in this country represents 5% of the entire schooling system. But also, when you look at City Kids, for instance, you mentioned the MoneyWeb article. City Kids is in downtown Johannesburg, and I'm sure you've been in downtown Johannesburg. That whole place has become a residential place. And
Yes.
City Kids, in their proposal, they say, look, downtown Johannesburg has become residential. In over 50 years, there's not been a public school being built. So even if you were to get City Kids, if you go to that campus, it's an amazing institution, and it's one of our members. But the work that they do is the same work that we'll find that is being done either by St. John's or St. Stephen's when they do the Tandulazi project, the program. And all of that money comes from the main activities, which is mostly fees that parents pay.
But Mr. Motsepe, back to my question. I mean, I concur entirely with what you're saying, but would you accept that there is justification for, I'm looking, for example, at the fees for Hilton. I'm not picking them out. It's the first name that came came into my head. But fees there are 430,054 Rand per annum. Now, would you accept that there should be exemption for the downtown school that you've just eloquently outlined, the good work they're doing on very much lower resources, but that schools that actually charge people a lot of money to go maybe shouldn't get exemptions because presumably that money is going back into things that are not necessarily educational essentials?
Well, not entirely, because Hilton would offer scholarships. And I cannot share Hilton scholarship the percentage ratio versus those who are fee paying, but a large number of the young chaps at Hilton, in this instance, would be on scholarship.
Like
so
what like proportion? 10%, 2, 1?
Well, let's just put it as scholarships within the elite schools. Let's not mention one individual school.
Okay.
But if we were to look at the number of elite schools in the country, there's a large proportion of young people or learners who are enrolled there who are on scholarship. If you increase VAT, Wait, John, if you increase VAT if you take away VAT on scholarships, that would mean those who are donors who are sending their kids there, and the schools that are putting aside money and ring fencing money for scholarship purposes, will then now have to find themselves admitting less and less children into the schools. But most importantly, those schools will become centers of extreme elites, in that those who can afford will continue to send their kids there, and those who are really stripping themselves of everything to try and send their kids to those schools, because the idea that it's only just the super rich who are sending their kids to those schools is not true. There's a number of families who are also doing everything they can to send their children there.
So what can you give me a percentage or a proportion?
No, we don't have that data as of yet, but the scholarships will be affected.
Thank you very much, Tsepo Motsepe. I mean, it's a very interesting and important debate, and we're opening it up now. We thank Tsepo Motsepe joining us from the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa. Give us your thoughts, 072 702 1702, 27 minutes to 4. Right, let's get the very latest Eyewitness News. Maki Molapo, good afternoon.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. Taxi body Santaco in the Western Cape says it's optimistic that ongoing talks with government over mounting violence and instability in the sector will lead to a lasting solution. This as the closure of 10 routes and specified lanes at some taxi rank starts tomorrow for a period of 30 days due to ongoing violence in the taxi industry that has also led to the death of a 61-year-old man in Cape Town today. The affected area are Khayelitsha, Makaza, Mfuleni, Somerset West, Nomzamo and Lwandle, where several people, including commuters, have been killed or wounded, with one of the latest shootings claiming the life of a Qatar official at the Nyanga rank last week. Mobility MEC Isaac Seleku announced the closures on Friday, assuring inconvenienced commuters that alternative plans are in place to cushion the blow. Golden Arrow bus services and Metro Rail trains will be providing additional capacity to help residents get to work and school. Santaco's Matsikidi Rebecca Pala says they've received this decision with both sadness and understanding.
Sadness because of the long-lasting impact it will have on the livelihoods of taxi operators and their families. At the same time, we understand that the measure was taken in the interest of protecting lives amid mounting violence as well as instability.
Silegu is set to meet with the Qatar and Codeta taxi associations this afternoon. Meanwhile, the City of Cape Town Safety and Security Directorate says it will establish a joint operations centre to monitor taxi routes in the affected areas. The Good Party has rejected President Cyril Ramaphosa's claims that DA-led municipalities are well run. Ramaphosa singled out Cape Town and Stellenbosch municipalities as benchmark for good governance while addressing ANC councillors in Soweto yesterday. Both municipalities have enjoyed multiple consecutive clean audits, including for the 2023-2024 financial year. However, the Good Party says the president should know that these municipalities are only better run for some. Good Party Secretary Brett Herron has labelled both municipalities as global benchmarks for inequality.
It is true that DA-led municipalities obtain vastly superior audit results than ANC-led municipalities. But where do the benefits lie for millions of people in Cape Town who live in fear of their lives and their children's lives due to systemic gang violence? The environments in which these people live are breeding grounds for antisocial behaviour but are left undisturbed.
Herron says there are many other examples of profound unfairness in Cape Town on which clean audits have proven to have zero effect.
South African citizens deserve higher standards than having to choose between a self-confessed party of looters and a party that uses clean audits as a platform from which to proclaim its morality while sustaining inequality.
Community members from the Wild Coast came out in their numbers at the Constitutional Court to demonstrate against the seismic exploration for oil and gas by giant Shell. Environmental groups and the community were at the Apex Court today for leave to appeal a Supreme Court judgment in favour of Shell. In its judgment last year, the appeal court allowed the oil giant to bring an application for seismic exploration in the Wild Coast in the Eastern Cape. But environmental groups, including Natural Justice and Greenpeace, are challenging this ruling, saying the seismic blasting is detrimental to marine life and the environment. Greenpeace oil and gas campaigner Sherilee Odaya says Shell has failed to consider the cultural and spiritual rights of communities on the Wild Coast.
They did not consider communities in terms of public participation. They went and did consultation with the chiefs and the monarchs, and that's not actually public consultation. It's not community consultation because they didn't consider the whole community when doing consultation.
Jacobus van Wyk, a fisher, says big business does not care about the well-being of the environment and the communities.
You must have to make a decision, and a strongly decision. The future of our children, the future of our land, the future of our marine system is in our hands. If you can protect it now, tomorrow we will be very ashamed.
And Ford has cut up 1,000 jobs at Colony Plant in Germany. The company has already cut 2,900 jobs in the country as part of a program to reduce costs across Europe. The expanded job reduction plan comes as the automaker continues to adjust its operations in response to slower than expected electric vehicle sales in the European market. The plant will only work one shift a day from January 2026, meaning positions will be subject to voluntary redundancy. A look at your weather. It's clear skies in Gauteng this afternoon. Temperatures are peaking at highs between 28 and 33 degrees.
Ekurhuleni, expect about a 20-minute delay in the Edenville area heading towards Bedford View, R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange. Also leaving the Sandton area. Traffic heavily backed up on Grayston Drive between Rivonia Road and Catherine Street, and in Protea Glen, Soweto. Traffic sluggish. N12 westbound from the R554 Abu Bakr Drive all the way to the R558.
The top story in Eyewitness News. Taxi body Santaco in the Western Cape says it's optimistic that ongoing talks with government over mounting violence and instability in the sector will lead to a lasting solution.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays.
12 to 1.
What was important for you that they take away from that?
The ANC was captured and took a wrong trajectory. Now we have arrived at a point where we can now deal with the challenges people are facing. And that's why the NEC met to look at the strategy to make sure, firstly, the service delivery countrywide. And we have been working on this for the last 6 months.
Reverend Frank Chikani.
The Midday Report.
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is back. With just one ticket, experience unforgettable music, mouth-watering food, bold fashion and vibrant art. From Saturday 20 to Sunday 21 September, celebrate with friends and bring the family for a picnic on Sunday. This year, DSTV celebrates 30 years with international headliners, SA's hottest talent, and a feast that's as big as the vibe. It's Africa's biggest music and food festival. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and supported by 702. More on deliciousfestival.com.
Hollywood Bets introduces the Soccer Punters Challenge Weekday Edition, a new platform dedicated to the beautiful game. You stand a chance to score a share of the 1 million rand daily jackpot. Bet R5 or more on selected EPL, PSL and UEFA Champions League clashes during the week and correctly predict 8 out of 8 winning margins. You could also win the free daily leaderboard prize where a share of 25,000 rand is up for grabs. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Introducing the new Grande Cheeseburger from Nando's. Freshly toasted signature bun, juicy flame-grilled chicken breast fillet basted in your choice of peri-peri. Nando's mayo, crisp lettuce, tomato, red onion, the red one, not the normal one, gherkins, creamy cheddar cheese, and finished with that legendary peri-naise. A burger so big it literally took us almost 30 seconds to describe it, which is why you'll need both hands for it.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The Parks Tau issue, of course, he and the department scrapping the proposed credit reforms that were envisioned to help small businesses gain business credit on the market.
When it comes to SMEs, there is no such centralized repository of information that can be used by credit providers to assess the credit worthiness of a business.
Khulekani Mathe, the CEO designate of Business Unity South Africa.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show is brought to you by ABSA CIB, proud host of the Macro and Risk Management Conference 2025. ABSA is a registered FSP. Your story matters.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Afternoon, Uncle John. Alani here from the Val. It's twofold, Uncle John, regarding the president of the ANC statement. If I'm an ANC member, definitely I'll be disappointed. I think there could have been a place, a time to say that. But as a South African, I'm a bit excited because there's a level of accountability and admission of failure together with councillors. Thanks, Uncle John.
Good afternoon, Tati John, and to your team as well. Good afternoon, and to listeners too. Look, there's an Australian show that I'm currently watching, and of course, I can definitely agree to them being the number one when it comes to accent. I mean, I am in love with their accent. It is one of the most exciting things I've ever, listened to, and just the way they speak, it is so warming and so loving. So yeah, I just love their accent. Actually, sometimes I feel like I can speak like that.
Hi, John. Very interesting topic you have there. I find it funny that they can rank an actual South African accent because there's so many different accents in South Africa. So I find that very strange that they were able to say this is a South African accent and it ranked number 2. Because if you just listen to the way an English South African would speak, is totally different from an Afrikaner. If you listen to a Xhosa person speaking English compared to say a Pedi person, it's totally different. And if they speak their own languages in their own accents, it's totally different. So find it very, very strange, especially in a pluralistic country like South Africa.
Yeah, look, I mean, the survey is curious because what they do is they list countries like ours, and as everyone rightly points out, there's a huge mix, and then which reflects as probably an American or a UK survey, because for the UK they break it down to Yorkshire accents, Scouse accents, and then the United States they have New York accents, which again there would be variety, and Boston accents, which they rate fairly highly as well. So it is what it is, and we're not taking it seriously in the sense that we regard it as science. We just think it's fun to talk about. Agri offers this from Northam and says, my favorite one has to be Sepedi. Sometimes I just stay quiet and listen to them. Wow, that is so beautiful. And Vanessa says, I worked at a few ski resorts in the US along with other South Africans. We kept on being complimented for our beautiful Australian accents. Of course, we did proudly South African correct them. Keep those coming. We're having fun with it. It's 4:45.
EWN Sport.
Tola Kelly, a very good afternoon to you. Let's find out what's happening in cricket. South Africa playing ODI against Pakistan. The women, how are they going?
Well, John, the hosts are currently at the crease on 230 for the loss of 4. That's in the 46th over. At the crease is Aman on 103 alongside Pavaz on 2. Switching over to the World Championship, where Zikhethi Nene won the first semi-final of the men's 400 meters in a time of 44.20 seconds. Sydney McLaughlin-Lovin ran a time of 48.29 seconds to win her 400-meter semi-final, as she also broke the record that was set by Sanya Richard-Ross. As for Faith Kipchogen, she won her fourth 1,500-meter world title, having run a time of 3 minutes 52.15 seconds. Switching over to the Bedware Premiership, where there are 3 games scheduled tonight, including a top-of-the-table clash between Kaizer Chiefs and Skokune United. Siphehlise Ndlovu has shared his thoughts on the challenge that Eric Tinkler's side will pose for the Glamour Boys.
We've done our best to really prepare for this upcoming game, of which we understand that it won't be an easy task because we have to deal with a hell lot of things, a hell lot of individuals, and also a team that has a fight within them. So yeah, it's going to be a very difficult encounter, but we are looking forward to it.
The UEFA Champions League also returns this evening, and selected clashes will see Arsenal away to Athletic Club, Real Madrid host Marseille, while Juventus clash with Borussia Dortmund. Thomas Frank takes charge of his first game in this competition as Tottenham Hotspur go up against Villarreal, and he's discussed his expectations.
I think in general I'm a person who's open for different things. I saw it from the outside last year. Now I need to try it and live it. For now I think it looks interesting and promising. I think no matter where the format, the Champions League game tomorrow, we're looking forward to that and we'll do everything we can to win it. I don't focus on that. I focus on one thing. Let's see if we can beat Villarreal tomorrow. That's the most important thing. After that, we're playing Brighton, I think, and then, one game at a time.
And Jacques Nienaba has committed his future to Leinster after signing a contract extension until 2027. Nienaba joined the Irish club after the Springboks World Cup win in 2023, having been promoted to head coach following the Boks title triumph 4 years earlier. In his 2 years in charge, he's implemented an aggressive defensive system and led them to a first United Rugby Championship title since the inclusion of the South African unions. Tholakele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's get out onto the roads at 12 minutes to 4. The traffic is starting to get busy. Edenvale in particular, Karabo Chale.
Yes, John, you can expect about a 20-minute delay in the Edenvale area heading towards Bedford View. That's the R24 westbound from Edenvale Road to the Gilulis interchange. Also, heavy delays leaving Sandton this afternoon on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and Catherine Street. While if you're traveling through Parktown heading towards the Joburg CBD, Traffic is also a bit sluggish on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section. Also in Protea Glen, bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's on the N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. Also further up in the Naturina area, there's roadworks causing delays on the Golden Highway. These delays stretch from Chris Hani Road all the way to Union Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. John is on X.
At John Perlman.
702 Drive, still to come on the show. We're going to be asking about a plan the Western Cape government has to try and sell South African wine in Canada. US tariffs have knocked a potential dent into what is an important market, and a market that, has vast potential for growth. But hey, the Americans don't want to buy it. What about the people up north? We'll talk about how they're going about that shortly when we talk to Western Cape MEC for Agriculture, Dr. Ivan Meyer. Looking forward to that. But before we do that, let's just get a quick one more clock in with the team on sexy accents around the world and in South Africa. Rifue Litsua, accents that melt your heart, if any.
Good afternoon, John, and to the 702 family. So I like the Nigerian accent.
Okay.
Madam, can I get you something to drink?
Okay.
That for me is beautiful.
Now
I'm already feeling like...
sorry. I was just going to say, now I'm fine. I don't drink during the show. But.
And then internationally, it's definitely the Russian accent. It's got this slight aggressive but, calming effect on me. It's like, oh, okay. I think it's a rrrs and that kind of vibe.
So Nigerian comes 29th. They have 250 languages, and they do acknowledge, which I suppose they can hardly not acknowledge, that the accents do vary, I would have thought. Russian comes 34th. I think my favorite accent, if I had to pick one, currently 17th, would be Jamaican and Caribbean accents in general.
Are you able to imitate that?
I'm not going to try, but just go online and type in Michael Holding, the cricket commentators. Part accent, part quality of voice, part genius in analysing and commentating on the sport. But I'll leave it to Michael Holding. Much better than anything I could possibly offer. Accents, your favorites, give us a call. 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702. Please comment as well if you like about private schools, the Private Schools Association. And let's just repeat that they do actually represent 900 schools. Private schools often, perhaps even my mind, goes to expensive and elite schools. There are many that fall under that. And if you missed our interview with ISASA's Tsepo Mutsepe, very interesting points he made indeed. You can pick that up on primemediaplus.com.
You're with John Perlman
on 702.
Right, let's focus our attention now on the South African wine industry now, like many, many other South African economic sectors. A real knock taken when the US came in with their tariff regime. The Americans buy a fair amount of South African wine. They buy a lot of wine from all over the world, and we have a wonderfully competitive offering. However, the tariffs are in place. So what do we do next? Well, in the Western Cape, the MEC for Agriculture, Dr. Ivan Meyer, will be heading off to Canada. They have shown some interest, particularly in the state of Ontario, where the Premier there ordered the removal of all US alcohol products from the shelves. And Californian wine, I would think, is a pretty big seller in Canada. So what's the opportunity and how do we take advantage of it? MEC Meyer joins us now on 702 Drive. MEC, welcome and thanks very much for your time. What's your pitch to the Canadians going to be? Is it price? Is it quality? I presume you're taking a corkscrew, but what else with you?
Well, good afternoon, John. I saw Canadians, their reactions to the U.S. tariffs against Canada in supermarkets. Ordinary Canadians responded by removing wine from the U.S. off their shelves, and I immediately saw a great opportunity for the Western Cape wines. And 2 months ago, I met with the Minister of Finance from Canada, Mr. François-Philippe Champagne, and we discussed the issue of tariffs. We immediately agreed that we should work together. And so we had dinner here in Cape Town, and we offered him also South African wine. So next month, as you rightly pointed out, I'm sending a delegation to Canada, specifically to Toronto, to what is called a grocery innovation show in Canada. And I'm also taking with Wines of South Africa, and we also collaborate with importer in Canada. So my focus is to get those wines that were removed off the shelves in Canada from the Napa Valley in California to fill that gap. We are daily busy with economic diplomacy. As we speak, our Premier is currently in the United States, and so we are working with Canada. And in fact, the governor of the Prime Minister, as they call it, from Quebec province, he will also be coming to the Western Cape next month.
So in terms of where you think we might have some sort of advantage, are we building on a reasonable market in Canada already? Do you have a sense of what percentage of South African wines are actually sold in Canada?
Well, I don't have that figures with us, but the Wines of South Africa that will accompany this delegation, they have all the data and the analytics. They understand that this is a market that we need to penetrate, and we have established an excellent relationship with their Minister of Finance. He tasted our wine. He said two things. Our wines have excellent quality, and in terms of price competitiveness, this is what they are interested in. So we have actually a great pitch. I have been myself many years ago to the Napa Valley in California, also a great wine region, but I definitely think from the Western Cape side, we will beat them both on price and quality.
In terms of Canada, I mean, I've been to Ontario, and the wine trade there is quite regulated. My recollection, and this might have changed since I was there, which is a number of years back, MEC, but liquor stores are controlled by the government. How does that change the way in which you're going to be marketing but also making agreements? Because I would have thought in many ways it would be easier if you were dealing with the private sector.
Well, that's why Wine of South Africa has someone that is based in Canada that understands the government regulatory work and the import-export tariff regimes. They have somebody on the ground in Canada that will certainly assist us with that technical and regulatory environment.
But in terms, I would have thought with respect to MEC, the government would have a very clear idea on this because, I mean, you're putting your own resources behind it. Is it a difficult regulatory environment that you are now committing to trying to break into?
Well, we know that Canada has a different environment, but we have certainly the backing also of the government of Canada. They're open for business. They will do anything that is possible to further stimulate our export and import. So this business is also to go specific to take part in the grocery innovation show. So this is also business-to-business delegations that will be accompanying our delegation.
Dr. Ivan Meyer, MEC for Agriculture in the Western Cape. I suppose if you are going to have a negotiation with an international finance minister counterpart, not a bad thing that his surname happens to be Champagne. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. But this is an interesting response, I think, from South Africans in general, saying, okay, we're going to see what we can do in the US market, but we're also going to look for other alternatives and opportunities. Maybe you're in the government sector or in a private sector where you're actually starting to make post-US Trump tariff plans. If you've got something to share on that, do give us a call on 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Fire! That's how I feel about the news cycle at the moment. I feel like there's an invisible Pentecostal church preacher in the news going, fire! What do you mean Kenny Kunene is the mayoral candidate for Johannesburg? John. President Ramaphosa, in his capacity as the ANC president, says, yeah, actually the DA does do a better job running its municipalities. Say it with me. Fire!
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
The South African Future Trust Summit is fast approaching. This premium entrepreneurial showcase will return to the Sandton Convention Centre on 5 and 6 November with international and local speakers sharing groundbreaking insights from their entrepreneurial journeys. It's an unmatched opportunity to network with like-minded entrepreneurs, innovators, investors and change makers. With 2,000 plus delegates and over 200 exhibitors all under one roof, come and experience the extraordinary world of thriving entrepreneurs and business owners. Avoid missing out. Get your ticket now for 1,800 Rand each for the 2 days at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 kg D-Lite 37% fat spread tub, $34.99. Save 8 Rand with Spar Rewards. Or 1 kg Spar French, chili, garlic or chicken polony for $34.99 with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 22 September 2025. While stocks last. T's and C's apply.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
This is EWN.
Preps underway for the highly anticipated police inquiry, and
Israel categorically rejects the libelous rant published today by this Commission of Inquiry.
Israel dismisses independent UN Commission finding. Good afternoon, I'm Maki Malapo. The stage is set for the Madlanga Judicial Commission of Inquiry to officially start tomorrow. Final preparations are currently underway at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will be the first witness to testify at the highly anticipated commission after he made explosive claims of interference within the criminal justice system. Arun Singh joins us live on the line from the venue. Arun, you've been there for the better half of the afternoon. How are preparations coming along?
Afternoon, Marky. Yes, well, obviously a tight security presence here outside in the parking lot. This is where the public are going to be entering from. We've got 2 police in Nyala's Park here, public order policing units stationed outside, readying themselves for tomorrow. They're anticipating a large crowd, members of the public to come through. But the Commission themselves, we've just spoken to the Commission spokesperson, Jeremy Michaels, who says and adamant that they're only going to be allowing 300 members of the public into these gates, urging people to get here early if they want to be part of hearing the proceedings live. Final preparations taking place here at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. Like you said, Marky, 2 months in the making, highly anticipated. All eyes descend on Pretoria tomorrow morning. For Eyewitness News, I'm Arun Singh live from Pretoria.
2 water boards have been saved from bankruptcy by the National Treasury withholding grant funding to municipalities that don't pay their bills. The Water and Sanitation Department, however, says enforcing this approach has resulted in mixed success. At the end of July, municipalities owed water boards over 25 billion rand. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
Addressing Parliament's Portfolio Committee today, Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, Selo Setlolo, says the Vaal Central and Magalies water boards are now in a better financial position since municipalities have been forced to pay them within 30 days or not receive their quarterly funding from the National Fiscus. This measure has been in place for 3 financial quarters.
This mechanism will remain in place until the most non-compliant municipalities demonstrate consistent payment of their current invoices.
The department's Director General, Sean Phillips, says since December, it's received 35 requests for funding to municipalities to be withheld.
But there's still a lot of progress to be made. It's a mixed picture. Very good progress in some municipalities, not yet sufficient progress in other municipalities.
Phillips says this approach remains a last resort to get non-compliant municipalities to pay their current debt to bulk water suppliers. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The Gauteng Health Department has defended its multi-million rand spend on security at the defunct Kempton Park Hospital in the east of Johannesburg. The hospital closed its doors almost 3 decades ago. But earlier this year, Gauteng Health MEC Nomantunko Moralehoko revealed that security to guard the non-functional building costs 5.3 million rand annually. Provincial Health Department spokesperson Motaletale Modiba says the Gauteng Infrastructure Finance Agency is actively exploring options that will have a bearing on the future of the disused Kempton Park Hospital.
Already there has been an expression of interest which was advertised to test the market. This will inform the decision on whether to refurbish the existing facility or to demolish and build a new facility. Both options will have huge financial implications, hence the need to explore public-private partnerships.
While the spend is necessary, Modiba says the department plans to review the current security arrangements to minimize the costs while ensuring that the empty facility remains secured.
We do understand the concerns raised and we acknowledge the need to expand access to healthcare to meet the growing demand across the province. A decision will be made in due course.
And Israel has dismissed a report by the Independent International Commission of Inquiry that accuses Jerusalem of committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. A new report states there are reasonable grounds to conclude that 4 of the 5 genocidal acts defined under international law have been carried out since the start of the war with Hamas in 2023. These include killing members of a group, causing them serious bodily and mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions calculated to destroy the group, and preventing births. The report blames Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other top officials for incitement. Chair of the UN Commission of Inquiry on Gaza, Navi Pillay.
As we set out all the facts, and we looked at videos, footage, we talked to experts, we talked to doctors, witnesses, children. After that massive investigation, we are, of course, the only UN body that is authorized to investigate. We're not allowed inside Israel, so we had witnesses come out to us. So that's just a little bit about our methodology.
However, Israel's UN ambassador in Geneva says the report has systematically dismissed Hamas's atrocities.
Israel categorically rejects the libelous rant published today by this Commission of Inquiry. It spreads the malicious genocide narrative. The report diverges from the mandate of the Commission, yet again stressing their biased analysis.
Gold's trading at $3,695.85 an ounce. The rand's at 17.38 to the dollar, at 23.73 to the pound, at 20.55 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $68.05 a barrel.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic in the Alexandra area heading towards Germiston. N3 southbound between the Marlborough off-ramp and Linksfield Road. Leaving Sandton, traffic remains heavily backed up on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and Catherine Street. And driving through Parktown, traffic pressure M1 south between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section.
In your sport, an update from the first ODI between Pakistan and South Africa women. Kaizer Chiefs and Kukuna United face off in the Bidway Premiership. And Jacques Nienaber commits to Leinster. A look at your weather. It's said to be clear skies in store for Gauteng. Tomorrow, Joburg will drop to overnight lows of 8 degrees and peak at highs of 27. Pretoria is at 10 and 29 and Vereeniging's at 9 and 25 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. The stage is set for the Madlanga Judicial Commission of Inquiry, set to officially start tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman.
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
On 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes past 4. So as you heard there from Oren Singh, the stage set for the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Official start tomorrow, although there's been lots of background work and lots of investigatory work, as I understand it, done in preparation and ahead of tomorrow. I think one of their biggest challenges is, on the one hand, some sessions, I think for well understood reasons, are going to be held behind closed doors. But I do feel a lot of people have already made up their minds as to who's in the right and who's in the wrong here. And so as much as can be done in open court, and I put that in inverted commas because I know it isn't a court, but it's a reasonable equivalent. As much as possible that can be done out in the open, I would just urge them to maximize that wherever they can, which I'm sure they will. Looking forward to it. Coming up on the show, President Cyril Ramaphosa spoke highly of DA-run municipalities in regard to their audit outcomes and urged that his colleagues, the ANC councillors assembled before him in a councillors' roll call yesterday, that they should learn from them and emulate where appropriate. It's caused quite a backlash, though. There have been some people in the ANC pushing back. We're going to talk to a councillor. Pelelani Sindani is a councillor at Ward 135, which is Protea Glen on the south side of Soweto. We'll be chatting to Councillor Sindani to get her reaction to what the president said, and crucially, what did she notice from the people around her? That's coming up shortly on 702 Drive.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Good afternoon, John. Can your guest, Malife, share that bill that government want to change on private schools paying VAT, so that we can oppose that as parents who are paying for private school fees? We're already paying through our ears, John, because of the incompetent system the government is running on their side. And this is why we take our kids to private school, not because we can necessarily afford it, but because of the ease of management and how it just makes our lives simpler than what they've done. So if he can share where we can find that bill and where we can just protest against it, we'd greatly appreciate that. Thanks. Tembi, bye.
Hi, I'd love to ask the Minister what the cost of this delegation is going to cost the taxpayers, and why isn't it that the companies that are selling the wines, why aren't they fitting the bill for this? How do the people of South Africa benefit with South Africa spending this kind of money on a delegation and whatever else they're going to be doing? How does that benefit South Africans whilst we're trying to get through our day-to-day lives of just basic water sanitation? Why can't we use those funds to speed up the water sanitation crisis we're going through? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sometimes entities, and they may be government supporting, for example, agricultural bodies and so on, go and attend trade fairs and send delegations. I mean, it's very, very rare that you would see every single individual brand within a larger product. So, for example, the automotive industry would go out to a conference on automotive things, and if government saw fit to support them, I don't think it's a completely outlandish idea. I mean, if the amount of money spent is ridiculous and hard to justify, but you often get a single or two entities representing a much larger body of people. And if there are to be agreements struck with Canada around South African wine, they're not going to be struck with individual producers. Anyway, something we can think about. Somebody asking about the can Mr. Tsepo Motsepe send them things? I think it's much easier if you contact the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa. Their phone number 011 648 1331. 011 648 1331. If you want to find out more about them, go to www.isasa.org and set up a contact yourself, I would say, particularly if you feel as passionately as you clearly do about the issue. Best to speak to them directly rather than me contacting them and trying to get your number and say, please, can you send one person something? I'd rather make the contact details available to a larger group of people who are listening and might be concerned. 13 minutes past 4.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN traffic report is brought to you by South African Airways. From 4 November, fly South African Airways from Johannesburg to Gaborone twice daily. Book now at flysaa.com. If you're leaving Pretoria and trying to head west, well, it may take a while.
Yeah, that's in the Proclamation Hill area. Traffic congested on the R55 Trans-Orania between Kwacha Road and the Dustport Tunnel. Not clear what's causing this delay at this time of the afternoon. So if you're in and around the area on that route, please kindly let me know. WhatsApp me on 072-702-1702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic. In Alex, traveling towards Germiston, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 southbound between Marlborough Drive and Linksfield Road. Also leaving Sandton traffic heavily backed up on Catherine Street between West and Greyston Drive. While in Melrose, traveling towards Midrand, traffic heavily backed up. M1 northbound from Ethel Oaklands to Marlborough Drive. Also driving through Parktown, traffic pressure on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section. In Soweto, Proteas Land, traffic sluggish on the N12 westbound from the R554 Abu Bakr Drive all the way to the R558. Naturina roadworks causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between Chris Honey Road and Union Avenue. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 4:30.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
South African Airways is making it easier to travel this season with more flights to Lagos, Accra, and Sao Paulo. Enjoy more choice, more convenience, and the warm African hospitality you know from SAA. Book now at flysaa.com.
702 afternoons.
With Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
What can we do in terms of updating that technology to protect all of our children's data?
Yeah, I must say the Department of Education is working very hard on the one side to modernize version of the school administration management system, and currently they're working with the UNESCO open source system to tailor make it for South Africa. But in the meantime, we're sitting in this no man's land of, we all agree that the previous system is not adequate, but the new system is not in place yet, and several schools that have resources have started using what is known as third-party systems.
Rian van der Berg, Deputy CEO of the Federation of Governing Bodies of South African Schools.
702 afternoons.
With Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Got big dreams for your small business? The Hollywood Foundation is here to make them a reality with the Bambelela Business Awards. SMMEs in Gauteng. This is your chance to grab a share of 1 million rand in funding. The awards recognize and reward the contributions small businesses make to growing and transforming our economy. Submit your entries today. Applications close on 4 October 2025. Submissions will be reviewed by a panel of expert judges. Enter now at www.hollywoodfoundation.co.za.
This is your business. This is your business supercharged with the help of zero accounting software. These are your numbers. These are your numbers sorted with the help of zero accounting software. This is you.
Hi.
This is you taking business where you want with the help of zero accounting software. This is your business supercharged with the help of zero and having your numbers sorted all at the same time so you can finally focus on taking business where you want to. Supercharge your business today with the help of zero.
Search zero with an N.
Naked people run faster because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time working on their personal bests. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
17 minutes past 4 on 702 Drive. So yesterday, ANC councillors from all over the country gathered in Johannesburg to look ahead to the local government elections in 2026. Among the speakers, the president of the ANC and the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, who had some things to say about the state of ANC-run municipalities and local government entities of all kinds, and had something to say as well about where the assembled councillors might look for inspiration and advice and ways of perhaps doing what they do a little better.
Those municipalities that do best are not ANC-controlled municipalities. And I can name it here because there's nothing wrong with competition. They are often DA-controlled municipalities. We need to ask ourselves, what is it that they are doing that is better than what we are doing? And there's nothing wrong with us saying, we want to go and see what Cape Town is doing. We want to go and see what Stellenbosch is doing. How do they craft everything? We need to be moving up the ladder of being good at what we do. We cannot forever stay at the bottom. It hurts me deeply when I continue to see that our municipalities sometimes tend to move even backwards.
So those were the words of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, reports today suggest that this didn't go down entirely well with some of the people who were there. How many of them? A majority? Well, let's find out. Pelelani Sindani is a councillor, an ANC councillor in Ward 135 of Johannesburg. That's the Protea Glen area in the southern part of Soweto. And she joins us now. Ms. Sindani, councillor, welcome and thanks very much for giving us your time today.
Thank you, Uncle John. Thank you for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners. I may he, Uncle John, not a she.
Yes, my apologies for that. I got that wrong. Excuse me, Mr. Sindani. So let me ask you this. I mean, when you heard the president say this, presumably you were sitting either with colleagues you know or fellow councillors who perhaps you don't know that well. How did this go down? Because some of the media are saying there's been a little bit of a backlash.
Well, Uncle John, we do welcome what the president was saying. In fact, we also welcome the roll call that has been done, considering that this is the second roll call ever since we came into office this term. The first one was in Tshwane. This was the second one. And we appreciate what the president has said, considering that we are under a GNU. Having said that, we also feel that the part where the president talks about a DA, that could have been done in a closed session, because these were councillors of the African National Congress. These were councillors only of the African National Congress. It was not councillors of any other political party. Also, the president was addressing us in his capacity as the president of the African National Congress, not as the president of the country. So for him to bring DA into that particular space, we feel that it's like when you, John, I know that you normally talk about your children and you also are a grandfather now. But when you correct your children, you don't compare them. You don't say this one is better than that one. You must do like that one, because then it brings an element of you are comparing them. And we understand where the president was coming from. And we accept that the president was saying, look, guys, we are not doing well. We need to improve. But if it was a closed session, then it will be much better, rather than our dirty linen now is out there and everybody can see that, everybody can say whatever that they want to say. But if the president had said that in a closed session, yes, it would have been much better. And we do appreciate, I mean, John, the president had said a number of things. You know, before he could even talk, he did praise us. And it's unfortunate that the praises that he showered us with are not reflecting.
What did he praise you for?
Well, one of the things that the president said was that we are working very hard, and it's a thankless job. Prior to that, there were premiers, there were secretaries of provinces that were giving their presentation. Our coordinator in Gauteng, Hope Papo, he did allude even to the fact that there has to be a protection of the councillors in the manner in which they are being assassinated is not correct, and there has to be investigations. So those are the things that are encouraging us. And the president did indicate to the fact that he understands that as councillors we are working, but the problem might be the officials. he went as far as saying if the officials are not prepared to do what they have to do, the door is the only exit. If they don't want to use the door, they can use the window,
So
the things that the president was saying, which it is encouraging.
So, Mr. Sindani, another way to look at it, I mean, you say this shouldn't have been done in an open session for other people to comment on, and we've had comments from members of the DA or leadership in the DA, Helen Ziller, applauding what the president said, which for some people may well rub salt into the wounds. But is there an argument to be made that this is tough love, and the ANC is a party in need of tough love and harsh realities, given what we hear from our listeners regularly about the state of municipalities and metros that the ANC is involved in the running of, but also, the election results from last year, the numbers speak for themselves, don't they? Well, didn't he need to get tough and, maybe even embarrass you a little bit?
Well, the sad part about him being tough on us publicly is that it then shifts the focus on the other things that the president has said. For an example, the president spoke about 6 pillars. Amongst the 6 pillars, the first pillar that he spoke about was the core service delivery, where he alluded to the fact that a sewer must be reported within 48 hours. And nobody is saying anything about that. And yes, you are correct, John. We need tough love. But you can't give tough love in front of everybody. We understand that it is the people who are voting for us. And if the president had spoken to us in private, we have the Secretary General. The SG would have gone out and the SG would have been able to say these are the things that we gave to our councillors. And moving forward, even into the upcoming local government elections, we expect our councillors to perform like this. One of the things that is not being said by the media, which the president did allude to, is the fact that there will be a reviewing moment. There will be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Any councillor who's not performing during the review periods that the president has given us, that councillor will be called into office and he must account. But that thing is not flying out of the media. And you know why, Uncle John? It's precisely because everybody is focusing on what the president had said. There are a number of things that even the national chairperson had said, but they are not capturing what the national chairperson said. They are only capturing where he said, there is no capacity, Dololo. We only know how to sing. There are a number of things that he said which are good, which are encouraging. So the point that I'm making, Uncle John, is that when you reprimand, yes, we accept being reprimanded because it shows that you still care, you still love us. That's why we are reprimanding. But the reprimand should have been in a private session where media was out.
Pelelani Sindani, thank you. Very, very interesting words from the Ward 135, which is Protea Glen area in Soweto, councillor in the Joburg Metro. TK says, please tell the ANC rep you're talking to that their dirty laundry has not been put out by the president, but it's out there for everyone to see. We are literally living in it on a daily basis. Nothing new here. I must admit that I wondered a little bit about the way in which the president pitched it, not because there was necessarily anything factually incorrect about what he said, but surely the wiser political approach would have been to acknowledge those ANC municipalities that are working and doing good work. I mean, against his measure of clean audits, just a glance through the last report by the Auditor General, and I've drawn on it to share with you scathing criticisms of the city of Johannesburg. But contained in the same report is the fact that the Joe Kabi district municipality, centered on Berkeley East, unqualified audits for 4 years. Ehlanzeni, centered on Mbombela in Mpumalanga, clean audits, unqualified for 5 years. Nkangala, also in Mpumalanga, Middleburg, the seat, 6 years. Francis Bard, finally, and that's just another example, centered on Kimberley. I mean, was there not a point of equal power to be made, saying you have amongst you people who are delivering excellence? Make sure you learn from them, get to know, maybe even call somebody up and say, listen, we're a municipality that does work. Give them the floor, let them speak, I don't know who the financial officer in Joe Kabi is, the chief financial officer or the mayor or whatever, but presumably they've got something to say. Just having never run a political party in my life, I am qualified to be absolutely expert. But it did strike me on someone who has spent a life largely in my adult life in kind of messaging and how you can pitch things to get maximum receptiveness. That seems to be an opportunity lost. But please give your views and keep those coming on 011 883 0702, 28 minutes past 4.
EWN Business.
The business of selling things and buying things, of course, the subject of the business reports with Muteo Khwaripe. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Things not going well in terms of selling things. The latest data from the ABSA Purchasing Managers Index shows that South Africa's manufacturing sector contracted in August. The August PMI indicates a drop of 1.4 points to 45.5, marking a regression in the manufacturing sector. Any number above 50 is marked as growth, while a figure below 50 is seen as a contraction. US tariffs, supply chain disruptions in the market, things like higher electricity costs and competition from cheaper imports into the country have dented confidence in the manufacturing sector. ABSA's PMI noted that despite July's improvement, economic activity remains lackluster as new sales orders are plummeted to 47.4 in August. Business activity also down to 45.8 points. And then there's a takeover bid on the cards. A food producer, Lipstar, says it's considering a potential takeover bid. The owners of Lancewood Dairy and Denny Mushrooms say it received interest from potential buyers for all issued shares. Our talks are still at an early stage, though. The group says day-to-day operations have not been affected. Lipstar's recent performance saw revenue growth of 5.9 billion rand for the 6 months ended in June. Now, the news saw its shares jump 16.6%, pushing it to its highest level in over a year. Looking at the markets ahead of market close, about 32 minutes out from 5 o'clock. The All Share is still up 141 points into the afternoon. Industrials holding on for slim gains. Banking stocks a little lower this afternoon, with mining shares up more than 0.5%. The Rand at 17 Rand 36 against the dollar, flat at 20 Rand 56 against the euro, and at 23 Rand 73 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,697 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,397. Brent crude at $67.88 a barrel. More business in about an hour.
4:30 on 702 Drive. Let's get back to the news desk. Focus on Cape Town and taxi violence, leading off this bulletin from Maki Molapo.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. Western Cape detectives are still at the crime scene combing for clues after a 61-year-old man believed to be a taxi boss was shot and killed by unknown gunmen at Brown's Farm in Cape Town today. This as gun violence continues to grip the industry, leading to the deaths and injuries of several taxi operators and commuters linked to taxi routes in the Mfuleni, Khayelitsha and Somerset West areas recently. As a result, several taxi routes on these corridors will be closed for 30 days from tomorrow, some due to the ongoing violence. The province's mobility MEC, Isaac Sileku, is set to meet with both Kata and Codeta taxi associations today to try and end their deadly conflict. Police spokesperson Joseph Swartboy says detectives are still combing for clues.
Information at our disposal suggests that unknown gunmen opened fire at the deceased and fled the scene. The victim was declared deceased on the scene by the medical personnel. The motive for this attack is believed to be taxi-related. Nyanga police registered a murder for further investigation.
We move to the courts, where the key state witness in the Lusikisiki massacre has told the court that accused number one called him and told him to fetch the gunmen who carried out the hit. Accused number one, Mzuki Sindamase, cross-examined state witness Lwando Abi in the mass murder trial in the Mthatha High Court in Lusikisiki today. Ndamase is one of 6 suspects arrested in connection to the murders of 18 relatives who were shot and killed in Ngobozana village last year. Nhlanhla Mabaso has more.
During cross-examination in court, it was revealed that the state witness Lwando Abi had shared some details of the Lusikisiki massacre with his wife. He told the court that he made his wife aware that Mzuki Sindamase had called him to pick up the gunmen. Previously, Abi told the court that the gunmen he transported were four of the accused, Aphiwe Ndende, Siphoso Xolo Mayekethe, Bonga Yinsa, and Zenande Phaya. The court also learned that the group used traditional medicine in their meat, which they ate and also took a bath with before proceeding to Ngobozana. Trial proceedings are underway. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape.
With National Wills Week underway, various legal practices are offering free services to citizens this week for South Africans to have a will prepared. The annual initiative is driven by the Law Society of South Africa and supported by the Justice and Constitutional Development Department in an effort to encourage citizens to ensure they have a valid will in place. According to stats from the Master of the High Court of South Africa, fewer than 15% of South Africans have wills in place when they die. Director at law firm Kloppers Inc. Ayanda Mboto says one is never too young to have one in place.
We would like to urge everyone over 20 to have a will so that they can leave a legacy for their children, spouse, parents, or siblings. Without a signed will, your loved ones would be left destitute or to face an expensive court battle.
And United Nations investigators have accused South Sudanese authorities of plundering the country's wealth. According to the UN, government officials have stolen billions of dollars in oil money since the country gained independence in 2011. The report cites an annual budget allocation to the president's medical unit that exceeded health spending across the entire country. The UN report was released a day after Bolmel, a South Sudanese politician, announced on X that he had been promoted to the rank of general in the National Security Service. A look at your weather. A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows between 8 and 10 degrees and peak at highs between 25 and 29 degrees.
Driving through Alexandra, heading towards Germiston, expect about an hour delay. This is on the N3 southbound between the Butlu Interchange and Modderfontein Road. Also traveling through Melrose area. M1 South, traffic heavily backed up. This is between Ethel Oaklands and Marlborough Drive. And also in the Parktown area, heading towards Boysen, slow-moving traffic. M1 South between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section.
The top story in Eyewitness News. Western Cape detectives are still at the crime scene where a 61-year-old man believed to be a taxi boss was shot and killed by unknown gunmen at Brown's Farm in Cape Town today.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
The Patriotic Alliance has announced its Deputy President, Kenny Kunene, as the party's mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. This despite Kunene's current suspension, pending an investigation over his suspected ties with alleged crime underworld figure Katiso KT Molefe. Kunene was found in Molefe's Sandton home when police pounced on him to arrest him in connection with the murder of Upa Sefuka, popularly known as DJ Sambodi.
The investigation of the DP will probably be done. Leader Eugene will tell us tomorrow when the investigation will be done. He has done very good work in the city of Joburg, and the DP will be our mayoral candidate for Joburg. We insist on that.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Tracker. Their CEO, Dylan Fernando, will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa. And join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
From the sands of our land, it all begins. A journey that turns raw potential into something extraordinary. Our strength isn't just in what we create, it's in the lives we transform along the way. Our craft, our heritage, in our hands. Asante Glass. Excellence in glass.
Let's count backward. 5, insurance. 4, pineapple. 3, insurance. 2, pineapple. 1, you're under.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Backed by popular demand, legendary jazz icon Kenny G will be performing at the Super Bowl at Sun City on Friday, the 3rd of October. Get ready for an unforgettable night of timeless hits and pure musical magic. Get your tickets from webtickets.co.za. Brought to you by Breakout Events and 702.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Good afternoon, Uncle John and the team. Sexiest accents locally, South Sutu speaking women. Kryptonite. And then if we take it abroad, on the Europe side, I would say French, obviously when a lady speaking. Sounds very, delicious. And then on the western side of the world, definitely I go on the Caribbean side, Jamaica, when the ladies once again speak. Awesomeness. Thank you. It's Marcelo from Greenstone.
Yeah, quite a few of you have spoken about French accents. I would always take Italian. Well, the sound of the language, maybe not the accent, but always take Italian over French. I hope no French-speaking listeners are offended. Italian, a bit more al dente. I like that. 702 Drive, a couple of you commenting on the discussion we had in regard to what the president had to say about ANC councils versus the way DA councils are run. We had a conversation with Pelelani Sindani, an ANC councillor in Protea Glen, Ward 135. And Shafiq says there's nothing special that the DA is doing. They're merely focusing on delivering services. Perhaps the penny has finally dropped for the president. The incompetence levels within the ANC is a direct result of their deployment policy. The ANC, Shafiq says, are in denial, and the spin attempts today insults the intelligence of the ordinary South African. There are a number of people who are saying the president should have done this behind closed doors, echoing the views of Councillor Sindani. But Sumaya has little sympathy for that and says, I hear what ANC spokesperson is saying, not a spokesperson, Sumaya, but a councillor, but going on. But let's be adults here. Sumaya says, the fact is the ANC is not performing well in its municipalities, and you can see it in the areas they run. So the takeaway is, how do we improve? We cannot be looking after feelings here. Let's get the work done. Keep those coming, please, on 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702. It's 20 to 5.
EWN.
Cricket in Lahore in Pakistan. Pakistanis batting first. South Africa's women up against it. By all accounts, they bat next. Tola Kele has that story and some others.
Thanks so much, John. And Pakistan posted 255 for 4. That's in the first ODI against South Africa women. Sidra Amin top scored with an unbeaten 121, while Ayabanga Kaka was the pick of the bowlers with 2 for 36. In response, South Africa's women are 9 for the loss of 1 in the third over and still require 247 more runs. At the creases, Brits on 5 alongside Loose on 0. At the same time, Sky Sports is reporting that the Afghanistan women's cricket team will tour India in October and play matches against domestic sides. That's while the Women's ODI World Cup takes place in the country. The group of Afghan women who are refugees in Australia after being exiled from their country since the Taliban took control in 2021 will make up the majority of that team. Over to the Betway Premiership, where Kaizer Chiefs will be looking to keep their winning run going when they face off with Kokunia United tonight. Siposihle Ndlovu has discussed how he's settling in, having netted a goal just a few weeks after joining the Glamour Boys.
It says a lot about the person that I am and what I bring within the club. I'm very happy that it happened so early because normally I score goals later in the season. I'm very happy, and it was so important for my confidence also, and also for the coaches, because I didn't spend a hell lot of time with them. It was a matter of 2 weeks, and then now the league is starting and everything. So it was very important for them to also believe in me and trust me that I can do the work for them.
The Proteas are gearing up for their netball series against New Zealand and Australia, which gets underway on Sunday, the 21st of September. Refileng gets as part of that group and has discussed how they've been preparing for the upcoming 6 international matches.
Preparations have been going really well, putting in a lot of work, hard work sessions, like crazy analysis and everything. So we as players and coaches are doing our part in preparation against the top 2 teams in the world. So we understand that it's not going to be an easy one, but we are prepared for the challenge.
France's Excel Bertomeu has been handed a 12-match ban for biting Ireland's AOF wafer during their quarter-final at the Rugby World Cup. The French Rugby Union say while the flanker accepts that she committed a red card offence, they will appeal the length of the ban. Co-captain Mane Felo has been handed a 3-match ban that's for committing a dangerous tackle during the same game. And Formula One has announced that Zandvoort, Singapore and Montreal will host sprint races for the first time in 2026. Those three venues will join Shanghai, Miami and Silverstone in hosting the sprint format. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
At 17 minutes to 5, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Cars.coza. Let's find what moves you. Out in the traffic, Karabo Chale. Well, he's not out in the traffic. He's keeping an eye on the traffic. There, we've got that.
Yes.
How's it look?
Well, at this stage, John, if you're heading towards Germiston, there's about an hour delay. This is in the Alex area, N3 South, between the Batu Interchange and Modderfontein Road. This is very unusual at this time of the afternoon. So, again, if you're in and around the area, if you're on that route, kindly please WhatsApp me the issue there on 072-702-1702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic. In Sandton, there's heavy delays on Catherine Street between West and Greyston. Melrose also traffic heavily backed up heading towards Midrand, M1 North between Ethel Oaklands and Marlborough Drive. Driving through Parktown heading towards Boysons, traffic pressure M1 South between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section in the south. That's Soweto, Protea Glen, traffic sluggish. N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558 Naturina. We still have those roadworks causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between Chris Honey Road and Union Avenue. And in Pretoria West, that's Proclamation Hill, traffic congested on the R55 Trans-Orania between Kwacha Road and the Dustspot Tunnel. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 5.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Majestic handling. A V8
Cars.coza.
horsepower that is...
Cars.coza.
This is very annoying. I'm trying to read a car radio advertisement.
Whatever car you want to buy or sell, cut through the and just go to Cars.coza and let's find what moves you. Cars.coza.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 4:45. We were chatting about the workplace, and you know, as you walk around and you're going to make a cup of coffee or heading to a meeting, or sometimes it's hard not to sort of glance over the shoulder of somebody because you're walking through open plan spaces, and some people are working and some people are kind of doing other things that they could argue, well, it's part of my job to watch YouTube or whatever it might be, which it is, by the way, here, because we're in the media, so we have to spend all day watching media of all kinds, just for the record. But I'm just wondering if, in the time when you've been working in your working life, what are some of the more unusual things you've seen people doing during working hours? I'm not talking necessarily about scandalous stuff or whatever, but they're at their desk, but they are kind of busy with stuff that may be unrelated to the work that they do. If you've got some good stories to tell on that, give us a call on 011 883 0702 or get in touch with us on 072 702 1702. Tolakele, I'm sure the examples are not from here because I know that people spend every single hour and minute of every single shift.
Listen, John, even
of
overtime.
every day of the year. I think I've made my point. Working flat out. However, but in maybe other places you've been, what have you seen?
Definitely the time of the year when their children's schools start the fundraising.
Yes.
And every time you walk past their desk, they're asking you for a 20 Rand. And for a whole week, that becomes your mission. Like every day, they're asking for 20 Rand, they're asking for baked beans, they're asking for this. And I'm just like, but what about me?
Yes.
I am working towards your school fundraiser, but what about my things?
No, exactly. And are they kind of online as well, drumming piling up donations?
Or they start a WhatsApp group. You know, anytime you start a work WhatsApp group for your child's fundraiser, that's when you know that we're in trouble. We're all in trouble.
I don't know how to feel that I don't seem to be on any of these WhatsApp groups. Should I be grateful, or am I perceived as a mean and miserable man?
Never, John. You should be grateful because every day they're expecting us to be donating something.
Okay, so fundraising on the job. I had no idea it was going on, but I'll keep a keen eye out for it. In fact, I'll just check with toilet care. Anything I need to be aware of. Karabo, strange things you've seen people doing during working hours, please.
Not really strange. I think it's pretty fun. There's something that we do in our newsroom when we just want to take a break. We play 30 seconds.
Oh.
And so that is
John,
pretty fun.
Some of your favorite journalists.
So do you set up the board at the beginning of the day, or how does it work?
Like maybe during late afternoons when we're just tired and we want to just break. Yes.
No, John, don't put it like that. So, TD.
I am a devil at 30 seconds.
TD, of course, our late colleague, she has 30 seconds on her desk. So when it's a slow day, all of a sudden we play it, and friendships are ruined when we play 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. Well, good. So that's the kind of thing that goes on here. How about in your workplace? What other stuff do people do? And by the way, lest you think that I might be judgmental of all this, I'm absolutely not, because there is a view, and I think it's an interesting one, that says you are not being paid for your time, you're being paid for your output. And if you work fast and you get stuff done, hey, why shouldn't you look at your Kindle and read a book, or listen to a podcast that somebody told you was excellent and might stretch your mind in useful directions. But anyway, tell us your stories, please, on 011 883 0702 and 072 702 1702. Something I meant to mention earlier and throw out, you may want to comment, Robert Redford passing away at the age of 89. He made a lot of movies. Maybe you have a favorite, one that particularly chimed with something that was going on in your life, or just a movie you really liked and a role that he played. But anything on Robert Redford that you want to share, same number, 072 702 1702. It's 10 to 5.
John Perlman
On 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
It's time for Green Tip of the Week, which is brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo, and in partnership with them each week, we highlight someone or something impacting the way we can be greener, cleaner, smarter, healthier, and eco-friendly. So today we're focusing on this. This week is National Cleanup and Recycle SA Week, and it culminates in National Recycling Day, which is on Friday. It's something that happens every single year, and a big focus of that is the way in which we deal with plastic. We welcome then to 702 Drive Patricia Pillay, CEO of Polyco, to talk about National Cleanup Week, Recycling Day, and all the things that we ought to be doing. Ms. Pillay, welcome, and thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, John.
So I must admit, one of the things I'm never sure about in regard to plastic and packaging and containers is there's stuff that I think I'm pretty clear is recyclable, and there's stuff that really isn't. It might be a little bit flimsy, or it might be, perhaps the large plastic wrap around an 18-pack of toilet rolls or whatever. Give us some guidance. What should we be prioritizing?
Oh, such a great question, because even us in the industry sometimes get confused with all the new packaging that's coming out, and also the imported goods as well. So it's sometimes difficult to tell. So we prefer to use something called a wet or dry system. So you have your recycling bag and then your normal black bag.
Right.
And anything that looks vaguely recyclable to you, so it's not wet, it's not messed, etc., you put it into that recycling bag, and let us sort that out when it gets to the waste picker. They know what's the right thing. When it gets to the recycling facility, or the buyback center as we call it, they will then sort through it. Because if we have to start being educated as consumers on what will be taken by a recycler or not, it's going to be a disaster. So then you put all your foods, if you don't have a composting facility, and everything else into that other contaminated bin, which is the normal black bin.
Right.
And I think it just makes it easier. So we've been rooting with government for this wet and dry bag system, rather than having 5 different colored bins and bags, and then you're standing in front of there and you're thinking, "Shoo, is this meant to go in the green or the yellow?" And it gets complicated.
Got it. So you're involved with an initiative called Packaging, and I'll spell it for people: PACKA-Ching, and I think the Ching stands for money. The Packer probably points us in the direction of packaging, but it sounds very interesting and it sounds like it's working. Tell us exactly how it works.
So we love this flagship project of ours. It's such a success story. And I think more so because we go into communities that are rural, that are urban, and we receive the same kind of excitement about it. To date, we've paid over 37 million into these communities, and we've collected over 31 million kilograms of waste that would have actually gone into landfill. And I think we all know that our landfills are full. There's just no longer any space. So anything that can be diverted through any program is, I think, a win. So what happens is you get a trailer as an enterprise, and you can then, and it's branded very brightly, showing you the process where you bring a little bag that you get given. It's weighed. There's a scale that we give you, and you can see there exactly, how many kilograms and how much you'll get for the different material types. So whether it's a bottle, whether it's plastic, whether it's cardboard, and you actually get that money back. And so there's the ching. And so your packaging and your waste now is money. And that's where that awareness comes in, that you shouldn't just throw things onto the floor. You can actually save it, put it into the bag, and then bring it through. And I think with us, we have 47 mobile units across the country. We're a national organization, and this program is supported nationally. And
Right.
it really enables this wonderful payment system.
Yeah, it sounds great. Of course, people say, in addition to programs that try and influence outputs and outcomes, you also need to go back a step and have regulations and legislation that actually starts making a difference as well. I understand for the last 3 years now, we've had something called the Extended Producer Responsibility Regulations. For people who may feel that this is a lawless space, this would suggest it's not. But give us an idea exactly of how it works.
I think it's fantastic that South Africa's been as progressive as it has, because when we brought in the EPR system into the country, it wasn't just a gazette. It was something that was actually enforced, and Polyco, as the PRO, received accreditation, and we had over 700 companies that were law-abiding and signed up to say, we will pledge that any packaging that we will place onto the shelves and into the market, we will then contribute a levy and take responsibility, for the life cycle of that product. So these are the projects like the packaging, etc., that we can then put onto, the roads, into communities,
Right.
because of the money that these producers pay. So it's a producer pay principle, and we then will support, for example, municipalities that have run out of funds, that can't carry the full waste burden. We will make sure that we'll ensure there's education and recycling. These days that are coming up, we'll do big cleanup campaigns. We'll look at research and development into recycling difficult streams, various infrastructure projects, and that's all through this legislation. So it's not just saying, here's a gazette and it sits there. This is actually now EPR in action.
Patricia Pillay, many thanks, CEO of Polyco. National Recycling Day on the 19th, and we'll keep bringing you every week here on 702 Drive some green tips. If there's an area, by the way, that you think we should be covering, either because you're interested and want to know more, or you know plenty about it and you think we need to know more about it, just drop me a note on that, please. Always open to suggestions on this or any of our other features, but particularly the green tip today. Send that to 072 702 1702. Now, remember when you had to wait for dial-up to connect? Technology moves on, so why are people still driving cars like it's 1999? Volvo's plug-in hybrids are the upgrade you've been waiting for. You don't need diesel power, you just need a second electric motor. Just like you updated from dial-up to fiber, you can upgrade your drive with electric for the city and fuel for the open road. Don't be the last one to catch up. You're late for your test drive. It's safe to be brave with Volvo. Green Tip of the Week was brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo. Tune in again next week, Tuesday, for another Green Tip of the Week.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
Fire! That's how I feel about the news cycle at the moment. I feel like there's an invisible Pentecostal church preacher in the news going, fire! What do you mean Kenny Kunene is the mayoral candidate for Johannesburg? President Ramaphosa, in his capacity as the ANC president, says, yeah, actually the DA does do a better job running its municipalities. Say it with me. Fire!
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Mzansi, 133 million rand in total guaranteed Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots could change your life. That's right. Play Powerball for a guaranteed 70 million rand and Powerball Plus for a guaranteed 63 million rand. Do it today. Buy your tickets now in-store, online at nationallottery.co.za, on the mobile app via cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Itube is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Did you know that every time you swipe your benefit card, you're contributing towards the Disciplinary Foundation? Each time you swipe, not only are you rewarded, but a percentage of your purchase is donated to the Disciplinary Foundation to support communities in need. All the more reason to sign up for your Disciplinary or Disciplinary Baby City benefit card today. Support with every swipe. The Disciplinary Foundation, caring for the community.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for butcheries, restaurants, beauty salons, and more. Here's Gert.
I definitely have peace of mind that Business Outsurance is protecting our business. I do think Business Outsurance are the best insurance company out there, and they gave us the best quotes.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. This is EWN.
The stage is set for the highly anticipated police inquiry and Shell accused of dismissing cultural rights. Good afternoon, I'm Maki Malapo. We begin in the capital, where the stage is set for the Madlanga Judicial Commission of Inquiry to officially start tomorrow. Final preparations are currently underway at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will be the first witness to testify at the highly anticipated commission after he made explosive claims of interference within the criminal justice system. Arun Singh is at the venue.
It's all systems go as final tweaks of technical systems are underway at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria. 2 police inyalas are stationed in the parking lot near the public entrance as tight security measures remain a key factor in ensuring a smooth start to the Commission's proceedings. Hundreds of people, including members of political parties, civil society groups and trade unions, will descend on the venue tomorrow morning. The Commission says it will only accommodate 300 members of the public, urging those wanting to attend to arrive early to avoid being turned away. KZN Top Cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will take the stand as the first witness when the hearings commence at 10 a.m. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News, the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria.
Meanwhile, as preparations are almost finalized for the much-anticipated police inquiry that gets underway tomorrow, some residents in the capital are not convinced it will yield desired outcomes. The capital's residents have shared their views.
Ubaba Mkhwanazi is doing the right job for South Africans. So, sifuna iqiniso liphume from tomorrow sibone ukuthi siyaphi ngeSouth Africa.
I'm happy about it, but now we lose hope because even ka Bekicele salo wa dirala tse Bekicele o tlile ka o re tliseditse hope but azange wa dirala next.
Ngithi kusasa akhiphe lawa amaqiniso
sikhona ukubona ukuthi ngubani ayenza ukuthi abantu bangasebenzi amathendera ayaphi singazi ukuthi amathendera ayaphi yabo into leyo yenza ukuthi doing a good job mkhonasi we wish can do that more.
Communities on the Wild Coast and the Eastern Cape say their cultural rights have been ignored and dismissed by oil giant Shell, which is looking to do more mining activities in the area. Today, the Constitutional Court has heard arguments for leave to appeal a judgment by the Supreme Court in favour of Shell. In its ruling, the court allowed the oil and gas giant to bring an application for seismic exploration in the Wild Coast. The surveying includes seismic blasting near the seabed, which environmental groups are opposed to. Modise has more.
One of the issues flagged by community members on the Wild Coast and the Eastern Cape is cultural rights. They believe the blasting and mining on the seabed will compromise their beliefs. Spokesperson for the Amadiba Crisis Committee, Nondle Mbutuma, says in their beliefs they connect with their ancestors through the sea.
When we want to connect, we go to the ocean, and ocean is medicinal for us, to cleanse our body, to connect with our ancestors. Now, when the ocean is dirty, it means that there will be no ancestors. That connection between us and ancestors will be cut off.
Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, proceedings will continue tomorrow with parties including Shell and the Mineral Resources Minister expected to make more arguments. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News at the Constitutional Court.
The presidency says more than 1,000 public servants are facing disciplinary action following investigations by the Special Investigating Unit for a range of transgressions. But the presidency and the SIU have bemoaned the fact that several public service officials at national and provincial departments continue to resign from their positions while facing disciplinary proceedings. The presidency has told Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts today that several officials have been dismissed for wrongdoing, including municipal managers and deputy directors general. Babalo Ndenze has more.
The presidency was back before Scopa to give the committee an update on SIU investigations and what consequences have been faced by those implicated. Jonathan Tim, a director in the presidency, told the committee that they've dismissed 44 individuals from the public service as a result of the SIU's work. Tim says more than 1,000 are currently facing disciplinary action after being caught on the wrong side of the law.
1,278 individuals flagged for disciplinary action by the SIU in the presidency tracking system that we have reported on over the last few years.
The SIU told the committee that resignations while facing disciplinary continues to be a problem after recording 55 officials who left their positions before facing consequences. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
The Mthatha High Court has learned that there were plans for another mass murder just hours after the Lusikisiki massacre in the Eastern Cape late last year. This was revealed by a key state witness in the mass murder trial, Lwando Abi. Abi was one of the 8 suspects arrested in connection with the massacre of 18 relatives in Ngobazana village in Lusikisiki, but has since turned state witness along with another accused in the matter. Accused number 1, Mzuki Sindamase, has been cross-examining Abi today in the Mthatha High Court. Nhlanhla Mabaso has more.
The key state witness in the Lusikisiki massacre trial has dropped another bombshell during proceedings today. Lwando Abi has told the court that hours after the Lusikisiki massacre, the group of gunmen he transported to carry out the hit intended to murder a group of boys in Gubeni village. The instructions allegedly came from accused number 1, Mzuki Sindamase. Abi told the court that the group worked for Ndamase but turned their backs on him when he was jailed. However, the witness says he spoke to Ndamase on the phone on the morning the gruesome killings took place and urged him to delay the second hit. Ndamase has denied giving instructions for any killing. The matter has been adjourned to tomorrow. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape.
And in the Western Cape, a meeting between Western Cape Mobility MEC Isaac Sileku and warring taxi associations Kata and Kodeta has been cancelled after a 61-year-old taxi boss was murdered in Browns Farm today. This also comes on the eve of an unprecedented 30-day shutdown of some routes in the Helderberg, where the two organizations are in dispute. Ntutuzela Nene has more.
The 30-day shutdown is already an extreme measure, and with more taxi violence today, it's unclear what further action authorities authorities can take. From tomorrow, taxi users in certain areas including Kailicha, Makaza, Mfuleni, Somerset West, Nomzamo and Luandle will be severely affected by the closure of 10 routes and specified lanes at Ranks. To mitigate the impact, Metrorail trains will be offering additional capacity. Here's PRASA Regional Manager Raymond Maseko.
We stand ready as PRASA as well to be able to fill in the gap until the situation is resolved. All of this, we are doing it in the interest of ensuring that the breadwinners are not left stranded.
Golden Arrow Bus Services has also been roped in to meet the needs of commuters. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Gold's trading at $3,686.76 an ounce. The rand's at 17.35 to the dollar, at 23.67 to the pound, at 20.53 to the euro. Brent crude oil's at $68.06 a barrel.
In Boksburg, roadworks causing delays heading towards Brakpan. That's on the N17 eastbound approaching Rondebolt. In Melrose, traffic heavily backed up. M1 northbound between Ethel Oaklands and Marlborough Drive, and also in Chirina. There's some delays. This is due to roadworks on the Golden Highway between Chris Hani Road and Union Avenue.
In your sport, South Africa chasing 256 for victory in their first ODI against Pakistan women. Mikel Arteta believes that last season's heartbreak will help Arsenal's UEFA Champions League charge this campaign. And Thomas Albanos returns to the Puma squad for their tests against South Africa.
A look at your weather. A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg will drop to overnight lows of 8 degrees and peak at highs of 27. Pretoria is at 10 and 29. Vereeniging at 9 and 25 degrees. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. The stage is set for the Madlanga Judicial Commission of Inquiry, set to officially start tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman.
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
On 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 9 minutes past 5. I was struck by that report in Babalo in the news bulletin sent by Babalo and Denzen. This has been running through the day, but the presidency says more than 1,000 public servants are facing disciplinary action following investigations by the SIU. And then they go on to say, well, they then resign from their positions while the proceedings are going. Does that tell you that something's wrong with the system? Because it seems to me that if the disciplinary action is to do with the misuse of public money and possibly to the advantage of the person who's facing those disciplinary proceedings, I mean, if you're facing a disciplinary, what have you got to lose? You stay in there for as long as you can. You draw a salary and all the benefits. If you have indeed fleeced the public purse, you've got money that you can take away when you end. It doesn't sound to me like this works. Surely those disciplinary hearings should be much, much quicker. And surely that evidence and that wrongdoing, yet to be proved, I accept that, needs to be converted to court cases and fast. But this sounds to me like the best of both worlds. You're on the disciplinary, you're getting paid, you've got money, you've got your ill-gotten gains, and you have time to do what you like. It doesn't work. It doesn't work to my mind. If you work in government and you work in the private sector as well, tell me how disciplinary proceedings actually work when they do work. Because it would seem to me that what the presidency was describing today is an example of really, largely, what doesn't. 11 minutes past 5.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Now, there is a fabulous concert coming up at Monte Casino on Saturday night. It was on in KZN, it was magical, and it was sold out. This was in May, but it's in Joburg now. Jeremy Loops and Lady Smith Black Mambazo have put together an absolutely groundbreaking collaborative show called Echoes Between Us. It has a limited run, and it starts on Saturday night, this at the Teatro at Monte Casino. I've got 2 tickets to give away to you, and I've got a rather tricky little challenge for you as to how you can win the 2 tickets. Last time we made it easy-ish, and one lucky listener is on the way to the teatro. I waited for them to get in touch, but they're not going with me. But that's fine. You can take whoever you like with your 2 tickets. Now, first of all, I'm going to play you the chorus from one of Jeremy Loops's really excellent tracks. It's called Mortal Man. Have a listen to this, and then I'm going to set you a challenge.
She said, hold my hand. Nothing I will change the mortal man. Mortal man, my friend. Nothing I will change the mortal man. Mortal man.
Okay, it's lovely stuff, and Jeremy Loops does it in his inimitable way. But can you imagine how that would sound as sung in the style of Ladysmith Black Mambazo? So, go on, give it a try. Send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072 702 1702, the chorus to Mortal Man, as if it was a Ladysmith Black Mambazo song. Now, I'll just read the lyrics for you again. They're probably there in your mind. You would have picked them up with the singing, but I'm not going to try and sing it in any style. Look at the relief on my colleagues' faces. Thank goodness this isn't TV. Oh, by the way, we are on YouTube. Don't look at them. Look at me. Here we go. So the lyrics. She said, hold my hand. Nothing now will change the mortal man. Mortal man, my friend. Nothing now will change the mortal man. The mortal man. So those are your lyrics. Give it to us, please, in the style of Grammy Award winners Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Do it well enough, and on Saturday night, you're going to the teatro for a night of music you won't forget. 702 Drive, it's 14 minutes past 5.
You're with John Perlman
on 702.
Hey, John. Sad about Robert Redford, but he did lead a very interesting and a long life. His favorite movies, Butch Cassidy, The Sting, and The Horse Whisperer.
Good afternoon, Uncle John. Great show as always. I used to work with someone on the 24th and 25th. 24th, 25th. She spent the whole day. The whole day. So between those days, you get a lot of complaints because I was her manager. You get a lot of complaints that she's not responding to emails, not responding to calls. Guess what she was busy with the whole time? Her budget. So around that time, she'll have that spreadsheet open and she'll be crunching those numbers.
So, funny thing about people listening to podcasts and stuff, I actually watch movies or series. And if the work is not engaging my mind that much, I would watch a horror movie and just like people shooting, and that's how I focus when I'm working. And no, you have like double screens now. So at the corner of the other screen, I'll just have my little screen streaming Netflix or something.
Yeah, speaking of people watching movies while they're working, I was in a taxi in Mexico, and the driver had a TV screen. He was watching a war movie, and it was a long trip too. It felt longer than it was. It was 60 Ks. It felt about 600. Anyway, we got there, I'm sure you can gather, because I'm here with you now. It's 16 minutes past 5.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic Report is brought to you by South African Airways. New flights from Johannesburg to Gaborone with South African Airways. Book today at flysaa.com. We're right in the thick of rush hour, and it's particularly thick in Boksburg.
Yeah, that's all due to roadworks heading towards Brakpan, Boksburg. This is causing heavy delays on the N17 eastbound approaching Rondebolt. Alex, expect about an hour delay if you're traveling towards Germiston. That's the N3 southbound between the Batlu interchange and Morafontein Road. Also leaving Sandton. Traffic heavily backed up on Catherine Street between West and Greyston Drive. Melrose heading towards Midrand. Traffic heavily backed up on the M1 northbound. From Ethel Oaklands all the way to the Batlu interchange. Also driving through Parktown, there's bumper traffic on the M1 south between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section. In Soweto, Proteas Lane, traffic remains sluggish on the N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558 Naturina. Also roadworks Roadworks causing delays on the Golden Highway between Chris Hani Road and Union Avenue. And finally, in Proclamation Hill, Pretoria, traffic congested on the R55, that's at Trans-Orania, between Kwacha Road and the Dustport Tunnel. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
South African Airways is making it easier to travel this season with more flights to Lagos, Accra, and Sao Paulo. Enjoy more choice, more convenience, and the warm African hospitality you know from SAA. Book now at flysaa.com.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I'm asking about what's been stolen. Have we not seen corruption under your party, the ANC, over the last 30 years?
I will not stand here in the name of the ANC and defend wrongdoings. Just yesterday, I'm sure me and you read the story of a chap who looted the hospital there. SIU has taken almost assets worth about 3.7 billion. It was on the news yesterday.
Zandile.
No, don't laugh.
No, man, come on. This is ridiculous. Have you read stories about Bheki Cele and Ket Matlala? Have you read that? Have you read stories about the very same man you're talking about in Tembisa and which politician was in his house meeting Ket Matlala?
Are they members of the ANC?
No, you said these people are normal people in society, and I'm saying politicians, when they loot money, they're going to use their families and normal business people in society.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Ready to lead and make our world a better place, Regenesis School of Education proudly launches its revolutionary Bachelor of Education program. They don't just develop teachers, they develop conscious leaders equipped with IQ, STEM, AI, and emotional intelligence. Study in the heart of Sandton or online worldwide with a world-class faculty trusted by over 1,000 corporations and 500,000 alumni from 150 countries. Enroll now at regenesis.net/education. Regenesis School of Education, awakening potential.
This master doesn't just start, it wakes up. Anticipation. The wheel settles into your hands. Seat and mirrors adjust. You didn't ask, it just knew. Then the 3.3-liter turbo diesel clears its throat. And suddenly, you're flying, weaving through sunlight. Goosebumps on your commute. The feeling will find you in the Mazda CX-60. Wonder awaits.
People are talking, everybody's talking, and they're saying it's time to make insurance great again. They said our low premiums were fake news. Wrong. We're putting customers first. We're gonna drain the insurance swamp. It's full of hidden fees. But when we clean it up, believe me, it's gonna be huge.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision people are saying ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like her insurance.
Experience extraordinary with the new iPhone 17 from Vodacom. Zanzi's winning 5G network. More delightful, more durable, with a 6.3-inch ProMotion display, center stage front camera, and a ceramic shield that's 2 times more scratch resistant. Be among the first to get the all-new iPhone 17 plus a free extended warranty. Pre-order yours today. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
21 minutes past 5. Let's return to a story that we engaged with a little bit earlier when we chatted to Tsepo Motsepe, who's Director of Legal Policy and Government Relations at the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa. At issue is plans by Treasury to change the provisions that private schools enjoy in regard to value-added tax. The private schools, through this organization, ISASA, which represents some 900 private schools, are things that those schools are objecting to. But let's get Treasury's perspective on this and welcome Chris Axelson, who's Deputy Director General for Tax and Financial Sector Policy at National Treasury. Mr. Axelson, welcome and thanks very much for your time. What are you planning to change and crucially why? Good afternoon to you.
Hi, thanks very much for having us. I wish I had heard Tepo earlier, but I did see his letter, so I do know what he's saying. Basically, some school associations had come to National Treasury and SARS and have told us it's actually very difficult to comply with the VAT system. The schools themselves are VAT exempt,
Right.
so they don't have to do anything. But if they do something that is not an educational service, so for example, if they have a tuck shop or they sell school uniforms or they rent out a sports field, that is a VATable service. So then if the money that they receive from that is above 1 million, they suddenly have to start doing VAT returns and send it to SARS, claim VAT refunds, put VAT on the price of those products. And a lot of the schools have said that's very difficult for us to do. We don't have expertise in this type of thing. So our proposal was to say, okay, even if you go above 1 million, and actually for all schools, we should deregister you so you don't have to deal with the VAT system. That was the main idea behind the proposal.
Okay, so I'm asking you to talk about what other people are unhappy about. I mean, are private schools in for paying more tax revenue as a result of this?
So it's interesting, and I'm glad that we're going to have a consultation period, because I hope there isn't a misunderstanding about what we're trying to do. But, if you are a private school and you have, for example, rented out your facilities, so you're getting a lot of income, you're getting a VAT refund on some of the expenditure that you used. What this proposal says is that if you deregister, the VAT refunds you've received up to now, you will actually have to pay back.
Yes.
But in my mind, that isn't a terrible thing to do, because you are not going to then be charging VAT on that service or for that rental fee going forward anyway, because we've taken you out of the VAT system. So we can't let you have a VAT refund if you're never going to pay VAT to us again on the actual service that's being charged later on. So it does need to be paid back. And also going forward, we thought it would actually be a lot easier for schools, because now, yes, you can't claim a VAT refund on those things, but now you don't have to charge VAT when you actually sell a school uniform or you sell anything in the tuck shop. So we thought it would wash out. It would be, you take on one hand but give on the other, because VAT is a system that goes straight through the business. It shouldn't be an actual cost to the business, because you can claim VAT refunds and then you charge it in the price to the consumers, and then that goes to SARS as well. So, we're a little bit confused about it, and we're going to have more discussions with them. I do hope that the schools themselves haven't been claiming too much in terms of VAT refunds, but the only amount that they're supposed to be claiming is for the proportion that is used for a service that you actually sell, rather than the school fees. Because, there's no VAT on school fees.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. So let me try and understand this. If so, a school decides to deregister, can you decide, or will it become mandatory and across the board, or is there an option?
No, it's at the moment in the draft. It's not an option. It's that everybody, all those basic education schools would have to deregister.
Okay, so you deregister. Part of your income stream and your business model, because schools have to some degree a business model, is that you rent out your school hall to churches on the weekend, and you charge them something, and you sell school uniforms, and you do a couple of other things as well. And for that, you've been claiming VAT refunds. Now, how far back? So you're deregistering, you no longer have to pay VAT, but you're saying you have to give the VAT that refunds you've already got back. How far back will that be retroactively?
Well, it should be all the input tax that they call it. It should be all of it that's on your books at the moment.
Yes.
So from our perspective, we didn't think that would be a huge amount, because the vast majority of income that schools get is from school fees, rather than these rental activities and others. They should be quite a small proportion, but it should be on everything. But if you haven't charged a service for VAT, because at some point the VAT should then be charged and sent to SARS. So this is just it's a timing issue where they've got the VAT refund up front, and then they should be providing it to us. I think they might have a problem on capital expenditure. So if you spend, for example, many millions on a very nice AstroTurf.
Yes.
Now you think that you're going to rent out your AstroTurf for the next 10 years, and a portion of that will be rented out, and a portion of it will be for school use. So then it might be a large amount that they would hopefully get back over the next 10 years of rentals, in VAT. But now we're asking them to pay it back immediately. So that's what we're going to have discussions with them about, and see, well, where are the problems here? What do we need to adjust? We tried to put in a more beneficial payment structure for them to pay this back over time.
Right.
But maybe we need to look at that as well and make it a bit more generous as well. So we'll have to have more discussions with them on it.
Okay, well, thank you. I mean, the picture gets clearer with each conversation. We have Chris Axelson. Thanks for your time joining us from Treasury, where he's Deputy Director General for Tax and Financial Sector Policy. 702 Drive, it's 27 minutes now past 5.
You're with John Perlman
on 702.
Okay, still to come, we're going to have some music for you a little bit later. Some of the music is going to be provided in our regular music feature, i.e. we will have well-known artists presenting you with studio-produced music. But we did ask you to sing with the hope of winning 2 tickets to the Teatro at Monte Casino on Saturday night. Jeremy Loops and Ladysmith Black Mambazo, in what I've been told, I haven't seen the show yet, is an absolutely fantastic collaboration. We'll do that in a moment. But first, let's give you the latest from the world of business.
EWN Business.
Motea Juaripe, very good afternoon to you. What's happened on the markets? We're over 105,000 points now, but of course, the stock market is just one aspect of a much larger economy. I'm sure you're going to cover all of it. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. That big jump on the JSE, that's because of a lot of results that came out today. High prop investments, one of them, the retail-focused Real Estate Investment Trust, reporting strong annual results for the year ending in June. The company increases dividend by 10% to 307 cents per share. Now, the company says its Eastern Europe business delivered impressive growth, with income increasing by 24% in euros and 20.5% in rands. High prop says back home, the average monthly foot count across its 9 shopping centers in South Africa was maintained at 7.2 million for the year, with its tenants' turnover increasing by 5.5%. But there was some trouble for them. Closures and resizing from Edgar's and Pick n Pay saw its malls result in vacancies there for those retail anchors, rising by 4.2%. We'll speak to the CEO, Morne Vulcan, joining us for the Money Show later on after 6. Then on the markets, it was a better day for the JSE on Tuesday, 210 up today. Financials are holding on for very, very slim gains. Industrials were up, while mining shares were also in the green today. Some big winners: MTN Group up more than 6%. Premier Foods releasing results today, up more than 4%, with Glencore up more than 2%. Not the best of days for Pick n Pay. They were down 2%. Discovery down 3%, while Redefined Properties was down 1.9%. Rand at this hour, 17 Rand 36 against the dollar, 20 Rand 55 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 69 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,681 an ounce, or platinum it's at $1,393. Brent crude at $68.32 a barrel. Then on the Money Show, we'll have all those exciting results coming out today, talking to the CEOs and the CFOs about the numbers that came out. Attack, another property company, the CFO, Raj Nana, talking to us about their results that came out today. There were also numbers from RFG, Premier Foods and Libstar, all food producers in South Africa. We'll find out how they did in our market commentary today. Then we also asked the question later on the show, what becomes of your investments after death? Vuyo Lee, JSE Director of Marketing and Corporate Affairs, talks to us about the fate of investments after death and how heirs can claim what's theirs, with over 4.5 billion rand in unclaimed dividends on the market. Then in our Africa Business Focus, covered by Dr. Rutendo Hidwingwi, the founding director of Tribe Africa Advisory and author of Rumble in the Jungle. All that and more on The Money Show after 6.
Thanks, Mateo. 6 to 8. Great radio ahead right here on 702 with The Money Show. Sorry about that. 29 minutes to 6. Latest eyewitness news with Maki Mulapo.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. A woman accused of operating a global sexual exploitation network with her boyfriend is determined to be released on bail. Megan Moodley is challenging the court's decision to deny her bail application. Moodley and her partner Darren Wilkin were back in the Randburg Magistrates Court for the continuation of their case today. The couple faces multiple charges, including the production and distribution of child sexual abuse material and money laundering, among others. Ntokozo Khumalo has more.
Earlier this year, the Randburg Magistrate Courts had denied the bail application filed by both accused. And during proceedings today, it was revealed that the second accused, Moodley, is challenging that decision. Prosecutor Izal Leroux stated that with investigations completed, some processes need to be put on hold until the bail issues are complete.
However, it would be nonsensical for us to proceed to serve the accused and transfer them prior to bail issues being dealt with. For that reason, Your Worship, I have arranged a date with the defence for the 22nd of October back to this court for purposes of finalisation of the bail-related issues.
The matter has been postponed to the 22nd of October. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News, Randburg.
The Good Party has rejected President Cyril Ramaphosa's claims that DA-led municipalities are well run. Ramaphosa singled out Cape Town and Stellenbosch municipalities as a benchmark for good governance while addressing ANC councillors in Soweto yesterday. Both municipalities have enjoyed multiple consecutive clean audits, including for the 2023-2024 financial year. However, the Good Party says the president should know that these municipalities are only better run for some. Good Party Secretary Brett Harron has rather labelled both municipalities as global benchmarks for inequality.
It is true that DA-led municipalities obtain vastly superior audit results than ANC-led municipalities. But where do the benefits lie for millions of people in Cape Town who live in fear of their lives and their children's lives due to systemic gang violence? The environments in which these people live are breeding grounds for antisocial behaviour but are left undisturbed.
Heron says there are many other examples of profound unfairness in Cape Town on which clean audits have proven to have zero effect.
South African citizens deserve higher standards than having to choose between a self-confessed party of looters and a party that uses clean audits as a platform from which to proclaim its morality while sustaining inequality.
The Western Cape Education Department says its safe school program staff have become part of a community-based strategy to curb violence at schools in Mitchell's Plain. A joint subcommittee consisting of WCED officials and the SAPS briefed the Western Cape Standing Committee on Education today about its programs to curb violence at schools in the province. The briefing follows a spate of violence at schools, with the most recent incident involving an 18-year-old learner who was arrested for stabbing 4 of his classmates at a high school in Tafelberg in Mitchell's Plain. Carla Peterson has more.
Western Cape Education Department Deputy Director General Alan Meyer says he will meet with various community organisations in Mitchell's Plain tonight to discuss violence at schools in the area. Meyer says the Mitchell's Plain Community Policing Forum and Neighbourhood Watchers have come together to develop a strategy following ongoing shootings and crime in the area.
Our district office, for example, their staff, their safe school staff are part of the program. So we have all our principals there to ensure that, if shooting happens, that learners are safe within the school property premises.
Meyer has urged parents not to fetch their children from school when shootings or gang violence happen, saying learners are safer at school. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Hollywood icon Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. His publicist confirms that Redford died earlier today at Sundance in the mountains of Utah, the place he loved, surrounded by those he loved. The retired actor turned director has starred in movies like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and All the President's Men. He founded the Sundance Film Festival, which takes place annually in Utah since 1978. A look at your weather. A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to overnight lows between 8 and 10 degrees and peak at highs between 25 and 29 degrees.
Roadworks in Boksburg causing delays heading towards Brakpan on the N17 eastbound approaching Rondebold Road. Also in Alex, expect about an hour delay on the N3 southbound. This is between the Patlu interchange and Morafontein Road, and travelling through Parktown, Joburg CBD. There's bumper-to-bumper traffic. M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the Crown interchange.
The top story in Eyewitness News. A woman accused of operating a global sexual exploitation network with her boyfriend is determined to be released on bail.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
What can we do in terms of updating that technology to protect all of our children's data?
Yeah, I must say that the Department of Education is working very hard on the one side to modernize version of the school administration management system, and currently they're working with the UNESCO open source system to tailor-make it for South Africa. But in the meantime, we're sitting in this no man's land of, we all agree that the previous system is not adequate, but the new system is not in place yet, and several schools that have resources have started using what is known as third-party systems.
Rian van der Berg, Deputy CEO of the Federation of Governing Bodies of South African Schools.
702 afternoons.
With Relebogile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Mzansi, 133 million in total guaranteed Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots could change your life. That's right. Play Powerball for a guaranteed 70 million rand and Powerball Plus for a guaranteed 63 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store, online at nationallottery.co.za, on the mobile app via cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older, so play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Life is full of moments. Some are small.
Surprise, I got you a matcha latte.
Some are big.
Surprise, we're having twins.
For all those moments, there's the new Haval H6 SUV with a spacious interior and voice command. It's built for big moments. Get it from only 6,699 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 750 gram, 780 gram, 850 gram Nola mayonnaise, excluding squeeze bottle, for $38.99. Save R6 with Spar rewards, or 2-liter Spar full cream or low-fat ultra-pasteurized milk for $32.99 with Spar rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 22 September 2025. While stocks last, T's and C's apply.
Naked people smell expensive because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums and more money on fancy French colognes with names they can't pronounce. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start smelling like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Okay, so earlier we set you a task and some of you have stepped up big time. The background: great concert at the Teatro at Monte Cassino this Saturday night. Jeremy Loop's Ladysmith, Black Mambazo. It's a collaborative show. It's got a wonderful title, Echoes Between Us. We have 2 tickets for the concert on Saturday night. And the task we set you was this. First of all, we played you the chorus from one of Jeremy's really most popular songs. It's called Mortal Man. So let's hear that quickly.
She said, hold my hand. Nothing I will change the mortal man. Mortal man, my friend.
So that's Jeremy Loops doing Jeremy Loops as only Jeremy Loops can do it. But we said, hey, come on, let's see what you can do if we said to you, do the chorus from Mortal Man in the style of Ladysmith, Black Mambazo. And some of you, Jonathan Fairburn, have really stepped up. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very impressed with some of the entries that have come through. Some really good ones, some really average ones, and some maybe forgettable ones. But we've taken a couple of the best ones and we've narrowed it down to these entrants. Let's take a listen to some of the best ones we've received so far.
Your head out, so count on me. When you're falling down, don't give up on what you go down. It's Davis here from Kensington.
Here's my rendition of how Mortal Man would sound if it's by Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Eshe! Bambi Sandra Sami. She said, hold my hand, nothing will change. Mortal man, Mganami. Nothing will change the mortal man.
Hi, John. This is the Ladysmith Black Mambazo competition. And she said, hold my hand, nothing will change the mortal man. My friend, nothing will change the mortal man. She said, hold my hand, nothing will change the mortal man.
Oh, hold my hand. Oh, hold my hand. Nothing will change you, the mortal man. Oh, hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Nothing that will change the mortal man. Oh, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff was fabulous. I thought the woman in the middle was
Yeah,
great.
she
The
was
last
good.
one, was terrific. But you guys have been putting your heads together, scoring against a very elaborate, audited scoring system. No, but you've got a winner. So
Yeah.
tell us.
So I think, according to Refue, my colleague, producer, and Karabo Jali, the last one
Most definitely.
was the best. I
Yeah.
think in terms
Yeah.
of the brief, they nailed the brief pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and a really excellent mix to choose from. So, who's the winner? I believe you've got him online.
Yeah, I think it was labeled as Conk.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that's his real name.
Well,
but
let's
that
find
was
out.
His WhatsApp name.
We've got Conk on the line in Rudderpoort. Conk, man, that was an excellent rendition of Mortal Man. I don't know if we were to get your ID, would the name Conk be there, or was it a nickname?
It is a nickname. My original name is Conclusion Molefe Mashaba, and it is real. It is on an ID. Yes.
Fabulous. I'm sure there's a great story behind your first name. But one thing we can draw a conclusion about is Saturday night. I hope you're not busy because you are going to be going to the teatro. And
Yay!
And you know, sometimes when you've got the guy next to you or behind you singing along to the music, you go, oh man, I wish they wouldn't. But anyone who's sitting in front of you, Conclusion, will be delighted to have you because you have a terrific voice. I hope you and whoever goes with you have a fabulous time. Enjoy it for us. Jeremy Loops and Ladysmith Black Mambazo echoes between us, and I hope it is as memorable as everyone in KZN says it is. Thanks for taking part. A brilliant entry. And yeah, I'm going to make sure I get to see the show myself. It's 5:45.
EWN Sport.
Cricket, Proteas women against Pakistan in Lahore. What's happening, Tola Kele?
Well, John, South Africa are chasing 256 for victory in that first ODI, and they're currently at the crease on 88 for the loss of 2. That's in the 20th over. Still needing 168 runs from 30 overs for victory. Batting is Marazan Cup on 23 alongside Tasman Brits on 31. Switching over to the Betway Premiership, which continues tonight with 3 games scheduled. That includes the top of the table clash between Kaizer Chiefs and Skakuna United. Having won 4 of their 5 games, all without conceding a goal, Captain Zita Maketa has put that down to the whole team pulling in the same direction.
It's not only about the defenders. Everyone is playing a role for us to get clean sheets. Even the strikers are chasing from the top. Sometimes they stop the ball before it gets to the defender. So I think it's a group thing, how we do things, the block, how we shift, and obviously goalkeeper also when needs to play a role, it does that. So I think at this phase we are really doing well and everyone is contributing.
In the UEFA Champions League, selected games will see Arsenal away its Athletic Club, Real Madrid host Marseille, while Juventus clash with Borussia Dortmund. The Gunners stumbled at the semi-final stage last season, and Mikel Arteta is hoping that heartbreak can fuel this campaign.
Well, that tells you with our long history how difficult it is because we haven't won it yet. And that's the opportunity. That's how I see it. The pressure is the opportunity that thrives. That energy, that willingness to be better every single day, to make decisions that are in that direction. And every decision, then if we win not that much, every decision has to be with that standards and with those expectations. And let's give our best chance to try to do it.
Thomas Frank will take charge of his first game in this competition when Tottenham Hotspur go up against Villarreal.
Obviously, that is a big thing. I'm hugely looking forward to it. I know it'll be special when we have that Champions League anthem being playing. That will be the moment. Now is preparation, a few more cameras, but that business as usual. But when we walk out to the pitch tomorrow, that will be special.
The Springbok women are back in the country following a historic Rugby World Cup campaign that saw them reach the quarterfinals for the first time. EWN sports reporter Kieran Thompson has more.
They may not have brought home the coveted silverware, but the Springbok women enjoyed a successful run to the quarterfinals. The Bok women produced their most successful campaign, scoring a total of 19 tries and progressing to the knockout stage for the very first time. Coach Swys de Bruin and his players have laid new foundations and set a new standard.
It's now for onwards and upwards, I would say. That's the key. But there's definite structures in place, which excites me a lot. I'm very excited to how we're going to grow women's rugby. Something big is happening here, something massive.
It's hard to disagree with De Bruin, as it appears to be an exciting time for women's rugby in South Africa. Kieran Thompson, Eyewitness News Sport, Cape Town International Airport.
And in the Rugby Championship, fly half Thomas Albanos has returned to the Puma squad for their matches against South Africa, having missed the last 2 games with a dislocated finger. For New Zealand scrum half Noah Hottam, he's been ruled out of the test against Australia after undergoing surgery on a broken fibula. Tolagile Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
12 minutes to 6. This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Boksburg was bad. Boksburg, it would seem, getting worse.
Well, it remains pretty bad, John. That's due to those roadworks. This is on the N17 eastbound approaching Rondebolt. So allow for extra traveling time if you're heading towards Brakpan. Also, expect about a 20-minute delay. That's driving through the Parktown Joburg CBD area. That's the M1 southbound between Killarney Benz and the Crown interchange. Also in the Roodepoort area heading towards Leratong, traffic is a bit sluggish on Randfontein Road between Corlett Avenue and Adcock. There's still slow-moving traffic driving through the Midrand area. That is the N1 northbound between the Butlu interchange and Allendale. Driving through Alex heading towards Germiston, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 southbound between Marlborough Drive and Van Buren. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car on the way to the hospital carrying an elderly couple, playfully bantering about who their first grandchild will look like.
Not your business.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's bringing 2 generations together. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, we've enjoyed some wonderful music from our listeners, but let's stay with music because we do like to wrap the show by playing a song and picking a theme, and then getting you to bring in your thoughts on the theme we've chosen. So, yeah, Jonathan Fairbairn back. What are we looking at today in the world of music?
So today in the world of music, we are looking for those artists or musicians or bands that have gotten better with age. So, if you think about maybe, let's give you an example of Bon Jovi. Mm-hmm. Absolutely brilliant in his younger years. And now the music that he's maybe producing, the voice is not really there like it was, can't hit those high notes. Maybe not really writing such great ballads or rock ballads like he used to. And then you get some of those artists who just still keep going. They're like really, they released really good albums when they were younger, and they keep delivering the stuff. So I went to the 947 music compilers and I posed the question to them, and they were there racking their brains, couldn't think. And they came up with two people. They came up with Adele, because the albums that she keeps releasing just keep getting better and better and better. And then they mentioned Kylie Minogue.
Okay.
And I thought, well, Kylie Minogue is a really good suggestion. And she's recently come out with a song called Padam Padam. And she's 50, I think she's 56 years 56 years old now. And this song is not bad. I mean, I've heard it on 947 and other music stations on the, some of the top hits. So you can make up your mind if you agree.
Well, let's listen to it. And by the way, I'm just looking, it's from her 16th studio album. So there's a lot of studio time. There's a lot of music. There's a lot of creativity. And the most recent output from Kylie Minogue is this song, Padam Padam.
You look like fun to me. You look a little like somebody I know. And I can tell you how this ends. I'll be in your head all weekend. Shivers and butterflies. I got the shivers when I look into your eyes. And I can tell that you're all in. 'Cause I can hear your heart beating. I hear it and I know. I know you wanna take me home, and get to know me close, when your heart goes,
Kylie Minogue, Padam Padam, off her 16th studio album, as I mentioned, a winner at the 66th Grammys for Best Pop Dance Recording. That, by the way, the first time that award was actually given at the Grammys. So, this is Jonathan Fairbairn's take, assisted by the 947 music compilers who, in truth, have listened to a lot of music. Somebody who's just got better and better as their career has unfolded. If that's the standard, who comes to mind for you? Send that to us now on 072 702 1702 and call us if you like on 011 883 0702. It's 6 minutes to 6.
"702 Afternoons"
with Relebogile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
What can we do in terms of updating that technology to protect all of our children's data?
Yeah, I must say that the Department of Education is working very hard on the one side to modernize version of the school administration management system, and currently they're working with the UNESCO open source system to tailor make it for South Africa. But in the meantime, we're sitting in this no man's land of, we all agree that the previous system is not adequate, but the new system is not in place yet, and several schools that have resources have started using what is known as third-party systems.
Rian van der Berg, Deputy CEO of the Federation of Governing Bodies of South African Schools.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Remember when you had to wait for dial-up to connect? Technology moves on, so why are people still driving cars like it's 1999? Volvo's plug-in hybrids are the upgrade you've been waiting for. You don't need diesel power, you just need a second electric motor. Just like you updated from dial-up to fiber, you can upgrade your drive with electric for the city and fuel for the open road. Don't be the last one to catch up. You're late for your test drive. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
In fitness, as in finance, endurance is key. If you're 55 and older, you can get an interest rate of up to 10.62% with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. Now feel the earn. Invest in under 2 minutes on the Money app and get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. For more info, visit netbank.co.za.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za. John Perlman
on 702.
3 to 6 p.m.
Okay, so while your entries or suggestions are coming in for artists who've just got better and better, really nice appreciation from Robert for those of our listeners who tried to do Jeremy Loops in the style of Ladysmith Black Mambazo, obviously reflecting the fact they're collaborating in a concert coming to Monte Casino starting this weekend. And Robert says, fabulous entries, knocked it out of the park. I absolutely could not agree more. So a couple of you are sending in your thoughts of songs and artists who have improved as their careers have unfolded. Let's take a listen.
Hi, John and team. A band that has gotten better and better, not to get religious or anything, by Spirit of Praise. My goodness, when they started, they were not that good. They were, but now, I mean, if you look at a song like Isikali that I'm submitting as an option, my goodness, that song now is 180 to where they started.
Yeah, fabulous vocal stuff there from Spirit of Praise, Isikale. People who have improved and improved. Let's hear a few more of your suggestions.
Hey, John, artists that just keep getting better and better. Well, I'm going back to like Mick Jagger. He is still going. I don't know if he's got much new material, but he for years and years just kept getting better and better. And I think Rod Stewart for me as well just kept getting better and better, and as he aged.
Yeah, kept getting, well, there's keep getting better and better, and then there's keeping on, and it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing, but two good ones. Leslie, thank you for that. Mick Jagger and Rod Stewart. Out of time on our music feature, but we had fun getting Ladysmith Black Mambazo onto the show via Jeremy Loops. I'm John Perlman. Good night.
And now, The Money Show with Moteo Haripe
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Krotas is brought to you by ABSA CIB, proud host of the Macro and Risk Management Conference 2025. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. On the show tonight, Glencore set to meet Eskom around the higher prices of electricity, saying those higher prices could affect their ferrochrome businesses. Donald McKay, director at XA International Trade Advisors, joins us for that conversation. Then we asked the question, what becomes of your investments after death? Vuyo Lee, the JSE Director of Marketing and Corporate Affairs, will talk to us about the fate of investment after death and how heirs can claim their equal share coming out of this, with over 4.5 billion rand in unclaimed dividends on the markets currently. Later on the show, in our personal finance feature, customary marriages as part of our heritage and their financial and legal implications. John Manyike, head of financial education at Old Mutual,